A service of KIBMradio.com, the Internet's home for an all old-time radio.
Lux presents Hollywood. The Lux Radio Theater brings you Joseph Cotton and Dorothy McGuire in I'll Be Seeing You. Ladies and gentlemen, your producer, Mr. William Keeley. Greetings from Hollywood, ladies and gentlemen. And to those greetings, may I add our heartiest wishes for a very Merry Christmas. It's a privilege for me, for all of us, to share the enjoyment of this peacetime Christmas Eve with you. Traditionally, Christmas brings people closer together, and that's what happens in our play tonight. The poignant story of two people who find themselves very much in love, but whose Yuletide happiness is shadowed by a strange threat. It's David O. Selznick's screen hit, I'll Be Seeing You, starring Joseph Cotton and Dorothy McGuire. In true holiday spirit, one of our listeners in the East has just written me of a Christmas relief bundle that she and a group of women sent to friends and relatives in Larvik, Norway. Knowing that that country hadn't received a scrap of wool in 5 years, they collected all the woolen garments they could find: sweaters, caps, gloves, socks, dresses. Then, she adds, we knew we must send Lux Flakes to care for them. And so those cheerful blue and white packages of Lux Flakes became an important part of our Christmas bundle. To Mrs. Sorensen, the author of that kind deed, all our thanks. And I'm sure she and her friends will have the lasting thanks of Christmas-cheered Norwegians. Here's the first act of I'll Be Seeing You, starring Joseph Cotton as Zachary Morgan and Dorothy McGuire as Mary Marshall. On the 24th of December, just 1 year ago, a girl left the warden's office of the state prison for women. She walked across the wide courtyard to a massive iron gate.
What's your number?
40721. Here's my pass.
Mary Marshall?
Yes?
Wait a minute.
Yes?
Shelby? North Gate. 40721 with the pass.
Check. Let her out.
Okay, thanks. You're free as a bird, girlie. How long?
Till the 1st?
Remember that. Till January 1st. And don't cross the state line.
I'll remember.
And don't forget, we'll be holding that nice little room for you.
And on that same morning, in a different section of the same city...
I can't tell you how glad I am to see you getting out of the hospital, Sergeant.
Thanks, Doctor. I wish I had a little more of your confidence.
You're not entirely well, no. But the only thing that's holding you back is yourself.
I'll do my best. What if I should get one of those spells while I'm away?
It's possible you will. Call a doctor and then get in touch with us or any other Army hospital. Just avoid excitement. Don't tire yourself.
Yes, sir.
Remember that. You're a normal human being. You've been sick and now you're getting well. Now, let's see. Your leave will be over when?
New Year's Day.
Just have a good time, Zach. Good luck, and I'm proud of you.
Thanks, Doctor. It's quite an adventure getting out in the world again. I'll be fine. Sure, I'll be fine.
And that's how, an hour or so later, a girl named Mary Marshall and a soldier named Zachary Morgan looked at each other from opposite seats of a westbound train.
Excuse me, but you dropped your magazine.
What?
Here, your magazine, you dropped it.
Oh, thank you.
Going home on a furlough, Sergeant?
I'm on a furlough. They gave me a furlough. You?
Oh, I'm taking a vacation. Christmas vacation.
Oh. What sort of work do you do?
Well, I travel. I'm a traveling saleswoman. Sales lady.
Well, I never heard any jokes about traveling sales ladies. Guess there aren't any. You know, I would have guessed you were a secretary or a model, maybe, a school teacher.
Well, I was once a secretary, and I wanted to be a model, so that would have been pretty good guessing.
Going to Los Angeles?
Oh, no, I get off quite soon at Pine Hill.
Oh, that's home?
No, I'm just visiting my aunt and uncle.
That's funny. I'm going to Pine Hill, too. My sister lives in Pine Hill.
Oh, I'll bet you'll be crazy to see you.
I hope so. Maybe we'll run into each other there.
Yes.
Say, would you like a cup of coffee or something, or a sandwich?
Well, yes, I would.
Good. I think there's a club car or something down this way.
I'm sorry.
My fault, man. Pretty clumsy. I keep bumping into people all the time.
Taxi, lady, taxi.
Oh, yes, please. Well, goodbye, Sergeant.
Goodbye. Oh, wait. If anybody tried to phone you, how could they get you?
Well, my uncle's in the book, Henry Marshall.
Henry Marshall.
Mm-hmm.
What's your name?
Mary Marshall.
Mary Marshall. Goodbye.
Goodbye.
Oh, if somebody calls and says that Zachary Morgan, that's me.
Well, I'm glad to know you.
Have a good vacation.
I will. You too.
Oh, mister, you happen to know of any hotels around here?
There's just one, Sergeant, but it's filled up there, YMCA. Why, yes. You see that church steeple back there? Well, that's Center Street. Just turn to your left and you run right into it.
Thanks a lot.
Very luck, Sergeant.
Just this one room left. It'll do fine. I'll take it.
Staying here for long, are you?
A week or so. I'm not sure. Oh, about the rent.
No hurry, boy. Just stop at the desk sometime. And if there's anything you want, you just holler.
Thanks, I will. Don't get worried, Frank. Don't get worried. You've got a problem, sure, but it's simple. You're to hang up your coat, unpack your bag, and put everything neatly away without dropping anything or bumping into the furniture. You think you can do that? Well, let's try. That damage wound is all healed, but the wound in your mind... The wound in your mind will take a little longer. Don't get too tired. Don't get done. Then you won't get any of those things that wind up with a shot in the arm or an ice pack or that little room. What's the matter, Zach? Forgot where you were for a moment? It's all right. Here. You'll get well. You'll get well. You'll get well.
Oh, just let me look at you, Mary. Why, you haven't changed at all, dear. Not at all.
Thank you, Aunt Sarah. Oh, it's good to be here.
We're so glad to have you. Barbara, Mary's here. You can share Barbara's room, dear.
I don't want to disturb anybody.
Oh, nonsense. Now, here, give me your coat. Barbara's 17 now.
Oh.
She's pretty spoiled, though. I think an older girl would be a very good thing for her right now. Well, there's a million things to talk about, but first, you want to wash up.
Barbara. Why, Aunt Sarah, she's a beauty.
Take Mary up to your room, dear.
If you're busy, Barbara, I can just follow me, lady, to my boudoir. Some boudoir. Practically no bigger than a...
Barbara.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. Now, look. We all know I've been in prison, and I'm going back to prison. So it just isn't right for anybody to try and cover up.
You're a wonderful girl, Mary. Now run on up here. Take that bag, Barbara.
Well, here we are, Mary. All the comforts of home. It's nice, Barbara.
We have our own bathroom. See?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Mary, I was just thinking that that's nothing I suit you have on.
Well, thank you. You were thinking something else, too.
Well, I guess I was. Well, I never knew they gave vacations to people.
Well, I didn't know about it either, Barbara, until the warden told me. Yes, in certain states, they give special furloughs to people for good behavior.
Oh, I think it's wonderful they have that confidence in you.
Yes, I think so, too. Well, I'd better wash up.
There are 2 towel racks, Mary. Yours is on the list.
Thank you.
And the soap.
There are 2 bars here.
Yes, I thought you might like a new case. It's right there. Mary?
Yes, I heard you. I'm not using your soap.
Hello. I went along downstairs.
Thank you, Barbara. First, I want to hear about Uncle Henry. How is he?
Oh, fine, dear. Except he works too hard. That darn drugstore of his.
Oh, I've been so anxious to see him out, Sarah. And you.
That's sweet of you, dear. But I guess you'd be happy to see, well, anybody. Has it been bad, Mary?
Oh, I've survived. It's just this feeling I get about coming out into the world.
Now, you listen to me. You did something and you're paying your debt to society. Most people will be willing to let it go at that.
I know, but I just don't seem to belong. I don't fit in. And the dreams I've had for the future are just impossible.
Well, most dreams are, dear.
But I'm not talking about palaces and rainbows. I'm talking about a home like this with a kitchen and a stove and an icebox. And a husband and a child.
Yes, I have all that. But I used to dream about palaces and rainbows.
But you're happy.
Of course, because I didn't hold out for too much. I accepted what was second best. You have to get used to accepting what you think is second best, and then you find out that it's first best after all. Oh, Barbara!
No, I don't see how that could ever work for me. Well, I have time to think about it. Lots of time.
Telephone.
Coming, dear.
It's for Mary.
For me?
Oh, it's this way, dear, in the hall.
It's the man, Mary. He sounds super.
Come along with me, Barbara. We'll set the table.
Hello? Oh, yes, Zach. Of course I meant it. Oh, well, what about your sister? Oh, that's too bad. Well, I'd love to, Zach, but, oh, wait a minute.
Yes, dear?
It's a soldier I met on the train.
Oh?
He came to visit his sister, but he just found out she's away and he wants me to go to dinner.
But why not ask him here for dinner?
May I answer?
Why, of course. Tell him to come right over.
Hello, Zach? You're to come here for dinner. Oh, but we want you. Oh, 617 Elm Street. That's right. Goodbye.
Is he good-looking, Mary?
Why, I don't know.
Didn't you notice?
Now, that's enough, Barbara. Just get the table set.
Wow, a soldier for dinner. Dad, can I come in? Dad. Mother says for you to hurry. Mary Soldier will be here any minute.
Oh, that's fine. Tell Mother I'll be right down.
Dad.
What?
You know, you never told me anything about Mary. Why was she sent to prison?
You can find that out some other time, when you're older.
Oh, that's what Mother says. But I still don't see why I should know.
Now, Mary made a little mistake, and that's all there is to it. Don't bother me now.
But they don't send you to prison for just doing nothing. What if my friends ask me about it?
Just tell them that Mary's your cousin. And from that point on, they can mind their own business. Seems to me that your business might be helping your mother.
Oh, Dad. Barbara! Barbara! I'll get it. I'll get it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I thought this was the Marshall home.
It is.
Is Miss Marshall here?
I'm Miss Marshall.
I mean, Mary Marshall.
Oh, look.
Barbara, stop teasing that young man. Oh, I'm Mary's aunt. You're Zach.
Yes.
Please come in. This is Barbara, my foolish daughter.
Hi.
Hello, Zach.
Oh, hello, Mary.
Oh, well, you found it all right.
Mary, take him back into the living room. Make him comfortable. Henry!
Be right down.
Come along, Barbara.
Oh, Mother.
This is swell, Mary. I haven't been in a real home like this in almost as long as I can remember.
It's too bad about your missing your sister.
Mary, I'm in this house under false pretenses. I really haven't a sister. I just made all that up.
Made it up.
Yes, when you said you were getting off the train at Pine Hill, I had to make some sort of excuse so I could get off, too.
Oh.
Well, good evening.
Oh, Uncle Henry, this is Sergeant Morgan, my Uncle Henry.
Happy to have you here, Sergeant.
Thank you.
Very happy. Make yourself at home. How about a little drink? I have some bourbon.
Oh, thank you. I'm not drinking just now.
Well, I'll let you in on a little secret. Neither am I. Funny thing, people that have it don't want it. People that can't get it. Well, you ought to see the act they put on my drugstore to get that stuff.
Dinner's ready. Come and get it.
Mary, you sit over here. And Zach, down there.
Thank you.
And Dad, no, I think you can both be over there. Oh, there. Oh, that's it.
I think I'll say a little blessing. We thank you, God, for our daily bread. We'll do our best to deserve it. Please look after all our dear ones, all the boys who are far from home, and all who are in the hospital. Amen.
You aren't used to saying grace, are you, Zach?
Well, in the Army, I guess you don't have time. But you said as if you meant it, sir.
I do, Sergeant.
Makes me want to say that, well, I'm grateful, too, for being here, for everything.
Oh, thank you, Zach.
Hey, you must be quite a soldier.
Don't say that.
Oh, let the man eat his soup.
But look, the Good Conduct Medal. 2 campaigns in the South Pacific and the Purple Heart.
For heaven's sake, where'd you learn all that?
Girl gets to know medals like she does boogie woogie. But the Purple Heart, why, that means you were wounded. Oh, come on, Zach. Tell us how you got to be a hero.
Barbara. And after dinner, you take off some of that lipstick. Looks as if you fell into a pot of paste. Sergeant, you must have been disappointed not to find your sister.
Well,
Oh,
yes.
she had a chance to spend the holidays in California. It was quite
yes.
sudden. She wasn't expecting that, was she?
Oh, no, she wasn't.
Zach, are you mad at me?
Huh?
Well, for asking all those questions.
No, I'm not mad. You mad, Mary?
No, I'm not mad.
Mr. and Mrs. Marshall?
What's that to be mad
No,
about?
Barbara, I don't think anybody's mad.
Well, then, for heaven's sake, pitch in, everybody. Pitch in.
After a brief intermission, we'll bring you Act 2 of I'll Be Seeing You, starring Joseph Cotton and Dorothy McGuire. Every screen picture started as an idea in the mind of a writer. Tonight, Betty Bryant, wife of Leslie Charteris, one of Hollywood's most famous writer of mystery stories, is here as our guest. Mr. Charteris wrote the famous Saint series and Universal's colored thriller, Lady on a Train. Tell me, Betty, I hear Leslie writes very rapidly. What's his secret?
Well, for one thing, he never changes a word.
Sounds like genius.
He says he really doesn't like writing. He'd rather cook.
He does that, too.
Yes. And I don't mean just steaks and chops. Some of his more sensational recipes take a day to do.
The most I can handle is scrambled eggs. You know, if I didn't know Leslie had written so many exciting stories, I'd say he'd missed his vacation. Which of his mysteries is your favorite?
Well, my favorite story is Saint Overboard. But my real favorite's something the public's never read. A letter Leslie wrote asking me to marry him.
He wrote you instead of asking you in person?
Well, you see, I was singing in New York and he was working here in Hollywood.
And now you're both here. Tell me, what does Leslie do besides work?
Well, we both love to take our trailer for a quick vacation.
Doesn't that mean extra work for you?
I like it. We take a minimum of baggage and a box of trusty Lux plates, Mr. Keeley. Lux is a wonderful fresher-upper after a dusty ride. You know, for things like underthings and bosses.
I'm sure John Kennedy likes to hear you say that, Betty.
Yes, and thousands of women all over the country agree with Mrs. Charteris. They've discovered that Lux Care keeps pretty undies, as well as other nice washables, lovely much longer. In actual tests, slips and nighties washed with strong soap, hot water, and rough handling soon look faded and drab. But with Lux Care, the identical garments stayed lovely 3 times as long.
I don't doubt it, Mr. Kennedy. And if Santa brings me some pretty new lingerie for Christmas, you can be sure that I shall continue to use Lux Care.
Well, Betty, I hope Santa is listening in, and many thanks for being with us. We continue with Act 2 of I'll Be Seeing You, starring Joseph Cotton as Zach and Dorothy McGuire as Mary. It's about 3 hours since dinner time, and down on Main Street, Zach and Mary are just walking out of the lobby of Pine Hills Movie Theater. Zach's face is strained and drawn as he takes Mary's arm and heads aimlessly down the street.
What's the matter, Zach? Chilly?
Oh, no, not chilly.
I don't know where you're walking. You go the other way.
Oh, sorry.
Zach, what's the matter?
Nothing's the matter.
It was the picture, wasn't it? About the war. Zach, why didn't you say something?
It wasn't such a bad picture.
Is war really like that?
I guess so.
You guess so?
Well, they have experts making those pictures. I guess that's the way they see the war. A beach a mile long and thousands of soldiers and tanks and machine guns. I guess that's the way it is.
It wasn't that way for you.
Well, it's just a difference in size. To a guy that's in it, the war is about 10 feet wide and kind of empty. It's you and a couple of fellows from your company, maybe, and the Japs. It's all kind of mixed up. Sometimes it's all full of noise, and sometimes it's quiet. It depends on what you're thinking about, I guess. How scared you are, how cold you are, and how wet you are. Mary, you know what?
What?
I mean, well, usually I don't like to talk about the fighting. I never said anything about it ever before, not to anybody.
Oh, I'm sorry. I should have known.
No. I feel kind of good. Let's have a drink or something.
All right. There's a place across the street.
Yeah, well, let's see what it's like. Let's go across the street.
This booth all right, sir?
Oh, it's fine. Sure all you want's coffee?
Positive?
Oh, come on, it's Christmas. Sky's the limit. Have a piece of pie with it.
Not after Aunt Sarah's dinner.
They're nice people, Mary. You're nice people, too.
Here you are. 2 cups of coffee.
Thank you.
Say, I'm an old army man myself.
Cream, Mary?
No, thanks.
I was in France in World War I. And you know what? They're kidding themselves. This is exactly the same kind of war.
Sure you won't have some cream?
Thanks.
The Navy, Marines, Air Force, okay, great. But this one's going to be just like the last one. A soldier like you and me, walking out in his own 2 feet and slugging it out with his rifle, with his bayonet.
Sugar?
Oh, thanks.
You got enough in that bowl?
Yeah, plenty.
Like I was saying, when this thing starts, I try to sign up again. I tell him I want a chance to knock a couple of Japs' heads together. I'm strong, see? Squash them like a couple of eggs, I could. But they wouldn't have me. Wouldn't let me fight. Why? On account of this. Look, my face, see?
Yeah.
Go on, look. I don't mind.
I see.
Zach, are you sure you're all right?
It's kind of a twitch, see? I got a little shell shock. Well, left me with this. Nobody ever notices it, but that's what medical turns me down. Now, tell you how I got this. Shut up. What's the matter with him?
Zach, where are you going?
Hey, what's up, sister? Hitting a bottle, huh?
Zach, please.
If we walk fast, Zach, we'll get nice and warm.
I'm glad you like walking.
Fine night.
It's Christmas Eve.
That's right, it is.
Mary, I'm all right now. Thank you. I guess I'm not asking any questions.
Sometimes I don't like questions either. Let's just walk,
Let's just walk.
I'd like to ask you in, Zach, but it's late.
Mary, I think you ought to know something. I wish I could tell you. I wish I could explain it. You probably think it. Well, I look fine, don't I? Healthy, don't I? Well, I am. Look, you see this rock?
Yes?
Well, watch. Watch me hit that lamppost down there.
Oh, you're terrible. I'll bet I could do better than that. Now, watch me.
Sure. All right. Thanks, Mary. Good night.
Zach. Zach.
Mary?
Oh, hello, Barbara. I thought you'd be asleep.
I've been writing letters. Look at them all. I'm the pinup girl for 5 fellas. I keep up their morale, maybe.
Must be nice to help somebody's morale.
Oh, you can write letters. You know, they just like to get mail from anybody. I mean, well, you don't have to know them awfully well, too.
When I was 17, I had trouble finding the right words, too.
Oh, I'm sorry, Mary. I keep hurting you. That's all I do. I keep hurting you, and I don't want to.
I guess it's uncomfortable for you to meet somebody like me. But maybe when you get to know me, you'll feel differently.
Oh, I want to know you, Mary. Really, I do.
Barbara, how much do you know about me?
Well, not much. Mother and Dad still treat me like a child. Everything's a big secret.
I don't think it would hurt you to know. As a matter of fact, it might help. Well, Barbara, when I was 15, my mother died.
Oh, I remember her. She used to make clothes for all my dolls.
And not long after that, my father died. I finished school, and then I went to work. In a couple of years, I found myself working for a man Well, the kind of man you dream about when you're 19 and lonely. He was single, he was good-looking, and, well, I started dreaming. Bosses do marry their secretaries. Well, one night there was a party. It was the first time he'd asked me anywhere. It was at his apartment. Except that when I got there wasn't any party, only him. And then he wouldn't let me leave. He'd been drinking. And, it was all mixed up like some kind of terrible nightmare. Once I almost got away when he fell over a chair, but he caught me and dragged me back. And then I pushed him. I pushed him as hard as I could. And he fell back. There was a low window, and he crashed through, screaming and clawing for something to hold on to. His apartment was on the 14th floor.
Oh, Mary, how awful. But it's wrong. They shouldn't have sent you to prison.
If I'd been lucky enough to get away before he was killed, there wouldn't have been any crime. The man was dead. The jury said manslaughter. That meant 5 years.
Please forgive me, Mary. Oh, please.
It's all right, darling. It's all right. Hello?
Is that you, Mary?
Yes.
This is Zach. Good morning. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Mary, I'd like to see you if I can now. It's sort of important.
Well, certainly, Zach. Do you want to come here? The family's just going to church.
Well, Mary, I want to talk to you about last night, and it may take some time.
Well, I have time. Plenty of time.
There's the bus that leaves the railroad station. It goes up to a lake. They say it's pretty out there, and we can be by ourselves.
That'll be fine, Zach. I'll meet you at the station in 20 minutes. All right?
Oh, that's fine, Mary. Thank you. Fine.
And just before they left the church, they insisted you come for Christmas dinner. So no arguments, please.
Now, look, they don't know me from Adam. It's Christmas.
Yes, it is Christmas, and I'd say that was the best reason of all why you should come.
Well, sure, I'll be glad to.
Well, that's better. Look, there's the lake, Zach.
Not a very big lake, is it? We sit here on this rock if it isn't too cold.
Well, let's try it out.
This reminds me of the lake I used to go to when I was a kid back in Maryland. I had a job every spring there, repairing the boats.
Oh.
Mary, I want to tell you why I got mad at that man in the coffee shop last night and why I walked away like that after I threw the rock at the lamppost and missed it.
You don't have to tell me that.
Look, I was brought up in a home, an orphan's home.
Well, that's nothing to be ashamed of.
Oh, I'm not. It's not like being in prison or anything like that.
No.
Well, in the home, there was a janitor. He was a shell-shock case, too. Whenever we could get our hands on any firecrackers, we'd bang them off and laugh at him. The way he'd jump. Well, that fellow in the coffee shop reminded me of him, and they both made me think of what I'd be in a few years. Only the difference is that now they have a fancy word for it, neuropsychiatric.
The doctors must know a lot more about it.
Maybe they do. But they don't know something about me that I know. You see, before I went in for engineering, I was an athlete, a pretty good one. I know what my timing used to be. The doctors don't. It's gone, Mary. Why, before this happened to me, I could have hit that lamppost all day. I don't know why I'm bothering you with all this. Yes, I do. I'm bothering you because I feel so much better when I talk to you. I like to be with you.
I like to be with you.
Mary, I want to talk about you. Tell me.
What?
Well, for instance, how did you become a traveling sales lady?
Well, I started out wanting to be a model, and after that I got with this dress company, and now I travel for them.
Where? Well, after your vacation, where do you go?
Back to Dallas, and then to New Orleans, Florida.
Mary, can you make me believe in myself the way you believe in yourself?
What makes you think I do?
I can tell. The way you walk, the way you talk, the way you hold your head.
Maybe that's just pretense to impress you. Look,
No.
there's a boat down there.
Yeah.
Oh, not a real boat, just a toy boat. At the edge of the water, see?
Oh.
Half buried there in the mud.
Yeah, some little kid once owned that boat.
Probably thought it could take him all around the world and back.
I wish it could. I wish we could get on it and... Where would you like to go? Not Florida or New Orleans. Someplace like the moon, maybe.
With a good breeze, maybe we could make it.
Mary, if it were a real boat and the moon a real place, would you go?
There's no harm in dreaming, is there, Zach? Yes, I'd go.
I'm getting to know your uncle's gig very well. This is where we were standing last night.
What are you doing?
Getting another stone. See how much time he is in daylight. Hey, what's the idea of knocking it out of my hand?
I'm not going to have you run out on me again. Now, come on in the house.
Here it comes, everybody. Love pudding.
I think I could bring it in lazy, Henry. Well, look.
You know, I never could figure it out. If the plum pudding is on fire, why doesn't it ever get burned?
Must be the alcohol in the brandy.
I guess that's it.
Personally, I think that's a terrible waste of good cognac.
Oh, don't worry, Henry. There's lots left.
I wouldn't trust Mama to death.
Oh, now I'm not going to listen to that again.
You may not believe this about your dear Aunt Sarah, Mary, but last year she got as high as a
Oh,
kite.
Henry, not
They're trying to drag out a family skeleton, Mrs. Marshall. I won't listen.
True as I sit here. Had a glass of sherry to bring in the new year, and by George, you should have seen her. She did about everything but hang.
Oh, now, see here, Henry. If you're in such good voice, how about a Christmas carol?
Something tells me Aunt Sarah's trying to change the subject.
Well, nothing of the sort. Christmas carols go with plum pudding, and that's what we're eating, plum pudding.
All right, darling, all right. What'll it be?
Oh, I think I like Little Town of Bethlehem best.
Fine. A little town of Bethlehem it is. Mimi. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark streets shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight. Well, Jack, it's pretty good having another man around here.
I can't quite tell you how I feel. This is the best Christmas I ever had. To think that you wanted me here, that you all had presents for me. Well, yesterday I was a stranger here. I felt like a prisoner inside myself. And now, well, just to be in a home like this, maybe someplace I can come back to next month or next year.
Excuse me, please.
Did I say something?
Oh, no, Zach, no. It's just that Mary's sentimental.
Yes, please.
Oh, I'd better... Oh, Mary.
It's all right. I'm just so silly.
Was it anything I did, Mary? Anything to do with what I talked about at the lake?
It's just a combination of things. The plum pudding and the singing and the very nice things you said.
Mary, maybe I'd better get out of here.
Oh, it isn't polite to eat.
I didn't mean just this house. I meant Pine Hill. I ought to leave you alone.
You're just fishing. You just want me to ask you to stay.
Well, ask me.
Please stay, Zach.
Mary, I'd stay forever if I could.
Forever.
Well, Mary, dear, time to go turn in, I guess. It's been a big day.
And I had to spoil it with that scene at dinner.
Now, honey, we'll have no more of that. Barbara?
Honey.
Might have happened to any girl. Could have been just Christmas sentiment. Well, good night, Mary.
Good night, Uncle Henry. Aunt Sarah,
Yes, dear.
I've been wondering if I...
Not for the world.
But why? Zach trusts me, and, well, it just doesn't seem fair.
But he'd only be here for a few days. Why, he mentioned that just now, just before he left. He's lonely. And you're making things pleasant for him.
That's not the reason I'm seeing him. I like him, Aunt Sarah. I like him a lot.
Well, I assumed that, or else you wouldn't have asked him to New Year's dance. But it isn't as if you were going to marry him.
No. It's not as if I were going to marry him.
Oh, Mary, dear, I didn't mean it like that.
I know.
Have fun, Mary. See Zach every day if you like. Just act like any other girl.
I try, Aunt Sarah, but I just can't seem to make myself feel like any other girl. I just feel like me.
And that's pretty darn good if you ask me.
Hey, you two, what's cooking?
But remember, Mary, I don't think so. Good night, dear.
Good night.
She doesn't think so, what?
She doesn't think there really is a Santa Claus.
Huh? Oh.
We pause now for station identification. This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System. Our stars Joseph Cotton and Dorothy McGuire will return with Act 3 of I'll Be Seeing You after a brief intermission. Let's pretend we can see into the future. It's Christmas morning at the Browns, and Betty and Jane are opening their presents. Jane reaches for a package from Aunt Sue.
Oh, let's open Aunt Sue's together, Betty. They're probably both alive. I wonder what she sent this time. Oh, look, stockings. Oh, no, not nylon. No, but they're lovely and sheer. Well, I can use anything I can get my foot in. I'm down to my last pair of stockings. Look, 3 pairs. Oh, swell. I'll see me through a couple of weeks. A couple of weeks? Why, these will last me for months.
So, about a month later, the girls were dressing one morning when...
Oh, doggone it. There goes a run. Well, there's the last of my Christmas stockings. Guess little Janie will have to go shopping for herself. Oh, look, Betty. You couldn't lend me a pair for today, could you? Guess so. Look in the top drawer. Hey, aren't these your Christmas ones? Uh-huh. Well, haven't you worn them much? Of course. But I luxed them. What do you do with yours? Well, I'm not fussy like you. I used anything that happened to be handy. Well, I still have 3 pairs and no run. Okay, I guess it serves me right. Don't I get to borrow these then? Oh, sure. Look, I'll even let you keep this pair, but there's a string to it. Use Lux. If you don't get twice the wear you did from your others, you'll have to buy me a new pair. It's a deal. I'll certainly play safe and Lux them.
It's a safe bet that if Jane does Lux her stockings after every wearing, she will cut runs way down. Because strain tests have proved that with Lux, stockings retain their elasticity much longer. They don't go into runs nearly so quickly as stockings washed with strong soap or rubbed with cake soap. For extra wear, give stockings gentle Lux care. Here's Mr. Keeley at the microphone.
We bring you the third act of I'll Be Seeing You, starring Joseph Cotton as Zack and Dorothy McGuire as Mary. 7 days have passed since Zack Morgan and Mary Marshall stepped off a train together at Pine Hill. Christmas has come and gone, and now Pine Hill, like all the troubled world, waits with eager hope the coming of the new year. All the towns gather tonight for the annual dance at the YMCA.
My goodness, there isn't a woman here with prettier corsages.
You've sent the man 12 times. Let him alone.
That's Sarah's right, Uncle Henry. You're just afraid Jack's spoiling it.
Well, maybe I am.
But flowers make you feel so like a party. Oh, there's Amy Anderson. Wait till she sees my lovely chameleon.
Well, that's my cue, Zack. I guess she wants me to leave you
Alone in this crowd? How about a dance, Mary?
I'd love to, Jack.
You know, Mary, 2 weeks ago, if somebody had told me I'd be dancing with a girl like you, you know what I'd have said?
What would you have said?
I'd have said, I wouldn't be dancing with a girl like you. You know, I used to be pretty good at this sort of stuff. Once,
Well, what's happened to the orchestra?
somebody must have tipped them off. Confidentially, it's just 10 seconds to 1945.
New Year's.
Ladies and gentlemen, may I be the first to wish you all a very happy New Year!
Happy New Year, Mary.
So beautiful I could... Well, what in the world is that coming down the street?
Oh, just some kids.
Oh, what a racket. They're shooting something.
Firecrackers. All right, Mary, it's all right. I feel fine.
Look, they're throwing them. They're throwing them over the fence there. That dog.
Oh, that's really a dog, too, isn't it? Oh, my thing, I'm glad he's saying.
Don't you believe in that saying about barking dogs?
Well...
Look at him. He's tugging at his chain.
Well, Mary, you're
Oh,
scared.
he's such a big dog. But maybe we better cross the street.
Now, Mary, the thing about a dog is you must never let him know you're afraid of him. You have to treat him like an old friend. Now, watch me. Here. Give way. Here. Oh, yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah, I'd hate to run into him in a dark street.
Well, what do you think this is?
Mary, look hard. He's loose. He's jumping ahead. Stay away, Mary. Stay away. Let's get back. I can handle it.
You hurt? Good thing you kept your wits wrapping that coat around your arm. That's the smartest thing you could have done, Mister. I'm sure sorry, Mister. You sure you're okay?
I'm okay.
Come on now.
Come along, Mary.
Oh, I can't stop shaking.
You'll be all right in a minute.
I'll be all right. I thought he'd tear you to pieces.
A few scratches from his claws. He didn't bite me.
Oh. You know something?
What?
Don't you realize what you've done?
What?
I bet you couldn't have done that a week ago.
Done what?
Oh, not just now with the dog. I mean all evening. I've watched you all the time. You've never hesitated for words, and your eyes haven't blinked. And then just now, I've never seen anyone whose reactions were so fast.
I didn't even think about what I was doing.
That's just it. And your timing. It was perfect.
I hope you're right. I believe you are. Mary, yesterday you told me that in a week's time you can do a lot of believing.
Well, you see, I'm that fellow that's on the radio that says life can be beautiful.
You're beautiful.
You're just saying that because, I've got lots of money.
You're wonderful.
Because, I have very influential friends.
You're wonderful.
Because of my social position.
Wonderful.
Dad, we're home.
Yes. Mary, I know now I'm going to get well. And I've got plans, lots of them. And you figure in all my plans. You've got to figure in them because without you, I'm back where I started. I'm sunk.
Dad, let's not talk about it now. I'm kind of sleepy.
All right. I'm leaving early tomorrow, Mary. Before I go, I've got a lot of things to tell you.
Yes. Good night, Dad.
Good night, Mary. I love you very much. I want to kiss you.
Dad. Oh, Dad.
Is that you, Mary? Mary, dear. Mary, are you all right?
Oh, Aunt Sarah, I love him so.
What are you going to do, Mary?
I don't know. He's going to ask me to marry him.
Have you told him about yourself?
No.
Are you going back with him on the train tomorrow?
Oh, how can I? I'm afraid to be alone with him now. Oh, Aunt Sarah, I mustn't tell him. And I lied to him at the dance. I told him I was going to stay there a couple of extra days.
Oh, don't you think he's strong enough yet to know about you?
I don't know. And I can't take that chance. He's getting well. I want him to go back to that hospital sure of himself. Of himself. And of me.
Remember, dear, what you have to do may seem to be second best. But it may work out to be first best after all.
Oh, Aunt Sarah, I hope so.
Oh, evening, Sergeant. Should say good morning. Happy New Year.
Thanks, you too.
Have a good time tonight at the dance?
Oh, wonderful.
So you're checking out tomorrow, you said?
That's right, and I want to thank you. I've enjoyed my stay here very much.
That's fine, son. Fine. Well, I'll see you later on.
Good evening, room. Happy New Year, room. Happy New Year, Zach. May I have this dance with you, Sergeant? Oh, and may I be the first to... The room. It's spinning. Hold on, Zach. Hold on. It's spinning like a top. Don't let it suck you in. Hold on, Zach. You're just a little tired, that's all.
Try to avoid excitement. Don't tire yourself. Avoid excitement. Don't tire yourself.
A lot of excitement, huh? Fight for the dog took a lot out of you. That's why you're sweating. Doesn't mean anything. Sit down, Zach. Sit down, sit down, sit down, Zach. Sit down easy. Take it easy. Your heart, Zach, it's starting again. It's pounding away. Faster, faster. Don't get scared now. Don't get scared.
Call a doctor. Then get in touch with us. Any Army hospital. Call a doctor.
Just one of those things, Zach. I told you it might happen. Hang on. It's sure banging away. But, Zach, your heart doesn't really sound that loud. You're just thinking it does, that's all. The doc told you there's nothing wrong with your heart. Beating fast like that doesn't mean a thing. It doesn't. Stop kidding yourself. This is it. You're in for it now. You thought for a minute it wasn't, but it is. You know the next step. You know what's coming now. You better call for a doctor. Let him get that hypo ready. Tub of ice water. It's coming, Zach. It's coming.
Dad, you've got a week to believe. A week. You must believe. You must believe. Must believe. Must believe.
Sarah, I'm downstairs. Breakfast ready?
Just a minute, dear. Barbara down here.
She's getting dressed. Where's Mary?
In the kitchen with me. 1 egg or 2, dear.
3. I'm hungry. Work on those eggs. I'll get the door.
But hurry, dear. They'll be ready in a minute.
Morning, Mr. Marshall.
Oh, hello, Zach. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year to you.
Come on in.
Have a good time last night?
Best party I've been to since last New Year's. Had your breakfast yet?
Yes, an hour ago.
Well, here's the newspaper. Make yourself at home. Be with you in a minute.
Thank you.
I'll drive you down to the station.
Who was it, dear?
Zach. Morning, Mary.
Good morning, Uncle Henry.
He's in the living room.
Zach?
Morning.
Hello. I was just fixing some sandwiches for the train.
Wonderful.
Mary, don't you think you'd better get ready? I'll finish that.
Yes, I'd better. I'll be down in a minute.
Go sit down, Henry. Your eggs are ready.
Yes, ma'am.
We won't be long, Zach. Hope you don't mind.
Well, take your time. Besides, here comes Barbara.
Hello, Sergeant. Happy New Year.
Hello, Barbara. Hi, you look nice.
Thank you. Is that your bag out there?
Uh-huh.
You sure look a lot better than you did a week ago.
Feel a lot better.
You think the Marshall food did it?
I think it was mostly your cousin Mary.
Oh, she's awfully nice.
Yeah, I've noticed that, too. You know what? I think I'll marry her.
Are you kidding?
Well, not as far as I'm concerned.
Oh, won't you mind waiting?
Well, it's up to Mary. Things have worked out so well that, well, I may not have to wait as long as I thought.
Yes, and the fact that they let her out of prison for Christmas is a pretty good sign.
What are you talking about?
You know, it wasn't until the other night when she told me how it all happened that I realized it wasn't her fault at all. She's not a criminal.
Criminal?
I mean like a real criminal. Oh, it's too bad you two can't go back on the train together. But then Mary isn't due in Easton until 9 o'clock, and she wants to spend as much time with us as she can. After all, being in that awful place for 3 whole
Come on,
years.
Zach. We're going to be late. Mary.
Well, goodbye, Zach. Zach, is there something wrong?
Wrong.
Well, have a nice trip and come back real soon.
Oh, Zach.
Zach, I hate to say goodbye.
Thank you again, Mrs. Marshall.
Good luck. And here's your sandwiches.
Thank you.
Mary, hurry, dear. Coming.
You've sure been quiet, Zach. But I catch on. Three's the crowd, huh?
No, I didn't mean
Now,
that.
Zach, is there any special address, or do I just write you and have the hospital in Easton?
Yeah, care the hospital.
Zach.
He'll get there all right.
And you can write me in care of Uncle Henry.
Sure, we'll forward it to wherever she is.
Okay.
Because I won't know what hotels I'll be stopping at.
Sure. Well, goodbye.
Goodbye, Zach. You will write to me.
Sure, all right. And thanks again, Mr. Marsh.
It was nothing, boy.
Zach, what's the matter? What's wrong?
Wrong, don't... Well, not a thing in the world.
Goodbye, Zach. Goodbye.
Good luck, Zach.
Look, he's not even waving, Uncle Henry.
Oh, what's the matter, I wonder? He acted kind of strange ever since we left the house.
I think I know. Zach!
He's gone, Mary.
Oh, he knows. He knows about me. He knows.
Turn on the coffee, Barbara. Dad will want another cup when they get back.
Mother, if you'd been in Mary's place, wouldn't you have gone along with Zach?
Don't ask so many questions.
Well, as long as Zach's willing to wait until Mary's out of prison, I don't see why...
Prison? Barbara, you didn't tell him.
Well, wasn't Zach supposed to know?
Oh, Barbara.
Oh, why didn't anybody tell me? Why didn't you warn me?
I should have.
Oh, Mary's always treated me like a grown-up. I didn't want to hurt her. Now I've done something terrible again.
They're coming in. Quiet.
No, I've got to tell her. I've got to. Mary. Oh, Mary, I'm so ashamed of myself. Please forgive me. Mary, I love you. But I didn't know. I told him, Mary.
Don't cry, Barbara. Please don't cry. He had to know sometime. At least he didn't know until the last moment. That's something. Oh, please, darling, don't. Well, I'll go pack now. Come and help me, Barbara. There's a train in an hour. I think I'd like to leave as soon as I can.
Who is it?
I'm reporting back.
Oh, you. Marshall, isn't it?
That's right.
Have a good time?
Aren't you going to open the gate?
You've got a little time yet, sister.
What are you talking about?
Down at the corner. Guy's been waiting for you.
Down at... Zach.
When you're ready, just pound the bell. Mary, I didn't want to make you cry.
Well, there's nothing wrong with crying at a time like this.
The minute I got on the train, I knew why you didn't tell me.
Oh, nothing matters, except that you're here.
I'm terribly ashamed for walking out like that. I need you, Mary. I want to feel that you need me.
Oh, but I do. I do.
I'll be right here. I'll be right here waiting. I'll be all well by then and ready to make a new start, too.
I love you so much, Zach. I love you so much.
Oh, we'll get by, darling. Yes, I think we'll do just fine. Just fine.
Our stars will return in a moment for a curtain call and a word about our play for next week. Tomorrow, for the first time in 2, 3, even 4 years, millions of men throughout the country will be eating Christmas dinner with their families. The war is over for them, but their wives still have a job to do for their country.
What kind of a job, Mr. Kennedy?
A job that will help all of us during reconversion, saving used fats.
But fats aren't rationed anymore.
That's just the point. Although food fats aren't rationed, there is actually less fat than ever for industry.
But can't we import more?
Not yet. The islands in the Pacific that used to send us millions of pounds of oils a year still aren't producing. So, for example, the people who make soap have to share the available oils with other industries. That's why you can't always get all the soap you want.
Will saving used fats help?
Yes, these fats are released for all sorts of heavy industry. That means more of the fine oils can go into soap.
Looks as if I'd better start right off saving again, Mr. Kennedy.
Good for you. This week you'll have an extra supply of used fat. Start by pouring the grease from the breakfast bacon or sausage into a tin can. Then add the drippings from your Christmas turkey or goose, and don't forget to skim the giblet gravy after the dinner. and the turkey soup later in the week.
Do I get anything for these bets?
Yes, indeed. Your dealer will give you 4 cents for every pound you turn in. But more than that, if you and every housewife in the country save used fat now as you did in wartime, soap supplies will become more plentiful. You won't have to wait for your favorite brand. Here's your producer, Mr. William Keeling.
Tonight we've received one Christmas present a day early, in the form of 2 superb performances by Joseph Cotton and Dorothy McGuire.
Thank you, Bill.
And I'm sure now that you're both eager to get back to your families and those Christmas trees.
Sounds good to me, Bill. I've been away for so long on location.
How's that Technicolor epic Duel in the Sun coming, Joe?
Well, we're still working on it.
You, Jennifer Jones, Gregory Peck, and half of Hollywood.
You don't actually fight a duel in that picture, do you, Joe?
Well, of course not, Dorothy. You know how the early West was. Nothing more violent than harsh words at 20 paces. Tell me, Bill, what about your next play on Lux?
For New Year's Eve, next Monday night, we have what is certainly one of the most gripping pictures of the year. It's Warner Brothers' Pride of the Marines. Starring in their original screen roles, John Garfield, Eleanor Parker, and Dane Clark. If you feel like entering the new year with an extra measure of hope and courage in your heart, you'll find it in this deeply moving drama of a wounded veteran who refuses to become a burden to the woman he loves.
That's a very timely picture, with so many of the boys coming home from overseas, Bill. Good night.
Good night.
Good night and happy holidays. Tomorrow is our first and long-awaited post-war Christmas, with families reunited and new hope throughout the land. But with our gratitude for peace should come a new conception of that word. For peace on earth has become a challenge the like of which the world has never known before. All of the nations of the earth are seeing themselves for the first time as fellow members of the human race, who must work in peace together if they are to survive their common enemies, greed, intolerance, and pride. The future is squarely in our hands. May God guide us in its management and bless us not with wealth and ease, but with tolerance and wisdom. On behalf of our sponsors and those of us here in the Lux Radio Theater, may I wish you all a truly happy Christmas and invite you to be with us again next Monday evening when the Lux Radio Theater presents John Garfield, Eleanor Parker, and Dane Clark in Pride of the Marines. This is William Keeling saying good night to you from Hollywood.
I'll Be Seeing You, produced by Dory Sherry, was presented through the courtesy of David O. Selznick, producer of Alfred Hitchcock's Spellbound. For its participation in American victory, the motion picture industry has received the official thanks of the United States government in the form of a bronze plaque detailing the industry's wartime achievements. Among these achievements is the contribution of 43,000 feature films for Army and Navy entertainment and morale. These films continue to make possible 6,000 movie shows a night, covering every region where our men in uniform are stationed. Radio, too, continues to serve as a medium of entertainment and morale. And these Lux Radio Theater plays are broadcast to our men and women overseas through cooperation with the Armed Forces Radio Service. Our music was directed by Louis Silvers. And this is your announcer, John Milton Kennedy, reminding you to tune in again next Monday night to hear Pride of the Marines with John Garfield, Eleanor Parker, and Dane Clark.
The Spry Treat of the Week. Spry Christmas cookies, tender, full-flavored cookies made quickly and easily with new Easy Mix Spry. Keep the cookie jar full during the holidays. Remember, for digestible, full-flavored foods, you need pure, bland, all-vegetable shortening at its creamy best. That's Spry, S-P-R-Y.
Be sure to listen in next Monday night to the Lux Radio Theater presentation of Pride of the Marines with John Garfield, Eleanor Parker, and Dane Clark. And why not tune in a half hour early to hear Joan Davis over most of these stations? This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
Snooks, what are you doing by the radio?
I'm going to listen to the Lady at the Spring Gill show.
Oh. I see. And why that show?
Because it's like Sanka coffee. And you know what?
What?
I like it.
Oh. Well, come on, Snooks. You're going to have a busy Christmas day, and it's time you went to bed.
Why?
Well, I should think you'd want to go to bed and rest up for tomorrow. Then you can play with your new toys all day long.
Are you going to bed and rest up?
Well, no. Why?
Well, last Christmas you played with him more than I did.
Oh, selfish. Look, will you go to bed if I sing you a song?
A lullaby?
Uh-huh.
Rockabye baby?
Yes.
I'd rather stay here.
Well, you can sit by the radio all night.
But they're going to tell my favorite story. Pistachio.
Pistachio?
Mm-hmm.
You mean Pinocchio. Pistachio is a nut.
No, he ain't, Daddy. He's a little bitty boy.
The little boy's name's Pinocchio. I know the story very well.
And so do I. His father carved him out of wood.
Exactly.
There.
And do you know his father's name?
Uh-huh.
What is it?
Edgar Bacon.
Just as I thought. You're bluffing. When I was your age, I knew the story of Pinocchio backwards.
Did you?
Yes. Now, will you go to sleep if I tell it to you?
Backwards?
No, forwards.
All right, Daddy. Tell me the story.
All right. Once upon a time, long, long ago, there was a kindly old man named Geppetto.
Mm-hmm.
He was a toy maker, and he lived all alone. No one to talk to but his cat and his goldfish.
Did the cat really talk?
Why, certainly. It said,
meow. What did the goldfish say?
Well, it said, oh, don't be silly, Snooks. Goldfish don't talk. They just open their mouths but never say anything.
You mean like you do when Mummy's around?
When Mummy's around, I'm not a goldfish.
What are you?
A dead pigeon.
Poor Daddy. Tell me more about Pistachio.
Pinocchio. Well, one cold winter night, not long before Christmas, when most people were enjoying good cheer and fellowship with their families, old Geppetto was in his cottage all alone.
Yeah.
And he was feeling a bit sad.
Yeah.
Because he didn't have any family at all.
Oh.
Just his cat and his goldfish, and a little wooden puppet he'd just finished carving.
Yeah.
So he turned to Figaro. That was the name of his cat, you see.
Yeah.
And he said,
Figaro, he is the nicest puppet I have ever seen. I think I will call him Pinocchio. Oh, you like that name, eh? He's such a cute little fellow. He almost looks alive. Figaro, wouldn't it be nice if he were real? What is it, Figaro? What do you want? Oh, the window is open. You want me to close it, eh? Very well. Figaro, look. Up there. The wishing star. Starlight, star bright. First star I see tonight. I wish I may, I wish I might have the wish I make tonight. Figaro, you know what I wished. I wished that my little Pinocchio might be a real boy.
Well, Snooks, how'd you like the story so far?
I like it. What happened next?
Old Geppetto went to sleep.
Why?
He just went to sleep, that's all.
That's all?
Yes.
That's a very short story.
Now, don't be silly. Geppetto went to sleep, and late that night, a beautiful blue light shone in through the window. and it blazed and glowed, and in the middle of it stood the blue fairy. And she touched Pinocchio with her golden wand and said,
"Little puppet made of pine, awake. The gift of life is thine."
Golly, I can move. And I can talk.
Yes, Pinocchio, I have given you life.
Why?
Because the good Geppetto has brought so much happiness to others with his toys. And tonight he wished for a real boy.
Am I a real boy?
Not yet, Pinocchio. To make Geppetto's wish come true will be entirely up to you.
Up to me?
Yes. Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish. And someday you'll be a real boy.
Oh, a real boy.
It will not be easy. You must learn to choose between right and wrong.
Right and wrong? How will I know?
Your conscience will tell you.
Conscience? Where will I find one?
Hello, what about me?
What's that?
What? It's a cricket.
Jiminy Cricket, that's me. Yes, sirree, and I'm widow as anyone's conscience can be.
I think you would be just the one. Kneel, Sir Jiminy Cricket. I dub thee Pinocchio's conscience.
Oh, gosh.
Now, Pinocchio, remember, be a good boy and always let your conscience be your guide.
Look, she's gone.
That's right, Pinocchio. And listen to me. You and I better have a little friendly talk.
Why?
Well, you want to be a real boy, don't you? A Wallapalooza?
Oh, yes.
Well, that's fine. But the world is crammed full of lovely temptations.
Temptations?
Yep, temptations. They're the wrong things that seem right at the time, but, well, even though the right things may seem wrong sometimes, sometimes the wrong things may be right at the wrong time, or vice versa. You follow me?
But I'm going to do right.
Attaboy, Pinocchio. And I'm going to help you. And anytime you need me, just whistle. Like this.
Like this?
Oh, no, son. Like, well, listen. When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong, give it with the whistle. Give it with the whistle. When you meet temptation and the urge is very strong, give it with the whistle. Give it with the whistle. Not just a little squeak, pucker up and blow. And if your whistle's weak, yell, Jiminy Cricket. Take the straight and narrow path, and if you start to slide, give it with the whistle. Give it with the whistle. And always let your conscience be your guide. Not just a little squeak, pucker up and blow. And if your whistle's weak, yell, Jiminy Cricket. Take the straight and narrow path, and if you start to slide, give it with the whistle. Give it with the whistle. And always let your conscience be your guide.
Daddy!
What?
Didn't all that noise wake up Pinocchio's father?
Oh, yes, of course.
Did the noise wake up Pinocchio?
He wasn't asleep.
Don't little wooden dummies sleep?
Oh, sure. They sleep like logs. Ha-ha! How's that?
Ha-ha, terrible. What happened next?
Well, Geppetto was delighted to find that his little wooden boy could walk and talk.
He liked them, huh?
Oh, yes. And the next morning, he sent him off to school.
I thought you said he liked them.
He did. But he wanted Pinocchio to be like other little boys and girls. So that morning, Pinocchio got up and ran as fast as he could to the schoolhouse.
Imagine that.
Yes. Now, why aren't you as anxious to go to school as Pinocchio?
'Cause I'm no dummy.
I see. Well, anyway, on the way to school, Pinocchio ran into a sly old wolf.
A wolf?
Yes. And you know what his name was?
Uncle Louie.
No. This wolf was named Honest John. and he was standing on the street reading a big advertising billboard that said,
Tonight in the big tent, the great Stromboli and his puppet show. Well, so Stromboli's in town, huh? You old rascal, I certainly fooled him once, all right. Yes, that time I tied strings on a cat, and Stromboli bought her for a puppet. Good morning, my little friend.
Good morning.
And where are you going this fine sunny day?
I'm going to school, just like a real boy.
Well, that's fine. Just imagine, a little wooden boy. Now, who'd ever believe that a wooden boy, a puppet without strings? Why, Stromboli would give a fortune for him. He did. Hey there, wait for me, little boy, wait. Well, so you're going to school, my little man, going to be a scholar, eh?
Yes, I'm going to learn to be brave, truthful, and unselfish, so I can be a real boy someday.
Indeed.
I must be going now. I'm late.
Oh, just a minute, young fellow, just a minute. Haven't you ever heard of the easy road to success?
The easy road?
Oh, yes, I'm speaking, my boy, of the theater.
The theater?
Mm-hmm. Bright lights, music, applause, your name up in lights. What is your name?
Pinocchio.
Mm-hmm. Why, I can see it in letters 6 feet high.
6 feet high?
Just as sure as my name is Honest John. P-I-N-U-O... P-I-N... Then we're wasting time. Come along, lad. On to the theater.
Hi-diddle-dee-dee, an actor's life for me. A high silk hat and a silver cane, a watch of gold with a diamond chain. Hi-diddle-dee-doo, you sleep till after school. You promenade with a big cigar, you tour the world in a private car, you dine on chicken and caviar, an actor's life for me. Hi-diddle-dee-dee.
Hey there. Hey, Pinocchio.
Oh, Jiminy. Hey, I'm going to be an actor.
Now, take it easy, son. Slow down. Remember what I said about temptation? Well, that's him.
Oh, no, Jiminy. That's Mr. Honest John.
Honest John? Oh, please, I pray you, no, Pinocchio.
Come on,
Wait.
Jiminy, come on.
Wait.
Hi-diddle-dee-dee, an actor's life for me. A high silk hat and a silver cane, a watch of gold and a diamond chain. Hi-diddle-dee-doo, you sleep till after school. You promenade with a big cigar, you tour the world in a private car, you dine on chicken and caviar, an actor's life for me.
Ladies and gentlemen, Stromboli the Great, I give you now the only Papita who can sing and dance fluently without no strings. I give you the one and only Pinocchio.
I've got things to hold me down, to make me fret, to make me frown. I had strings, but now I'm free. There are no strings on me. Hi-ho, the merry-o, I'm as happy as can be. I want the world to know nothing ever worries me. I've got no strings, so I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone. How I love my liberty. There are no strings on me. I've got no strings to hold.
Sure, I like him. He's a great big wallowing success. Well, anyway, I did my level best, but he wouldn't listen. What does an actor want with a conscience anyway?
I want the world to know nothing ever worries me. I've got no strings, so I have fun. I'm not tied up to anyone. How I love my liberty. There are no strings on me.
Well, Snooks, how do you like the way I'm telling this story?
I'd rather listen to the Swing-Dill Show.
Oh, you would?
Mm-hmm.
What have they got that I haven't got?
Lady Esther.
Uh-huh. You're just like every other female. All right, if it's Lady Esther you want, that's what you'll get.
Tonight is Christmas Eve. The first really gay and light-hearted Christmas in 4 years. Happiness is back in millions of hearts. For once again, there's peace on earth, goodwill toward men. You can give this Christmas even greater significance. You can make it an extra special Christmas to be long remembered. the Christmas you gave yourself the gift of greater beauty. And these are no empty words. This is no meaningless promise. Lady Esther Face Cream brings you the gift of a softer, smoother skin, a younger-looking skin. And I prove it to you in just 30 seconds with the famous Lady Esther Patch Test. To make the test, just smooth a little Lady Esther Face Cream on one patch of skin, like one cheek. Wipe it off. Then compare that patch of skin with the rest of your face. See how much brighter and fresher it looks. Touch it with your fingertips. Feel the difference. Now, I promise no miracles, but when you see and feel the exciting difference in your skin, I know you'll want to keep on using Lady Esther Face Cream forever. It so thoroughly cleans your skin, softens your skin, helps nature refine the pores, and leaves such a wonderfully smooth, flattering base for powder. All I ask is the chance to prove what I say. Let the patch test prove that the most exciting gift you can give yourself this Christmas is a jar of Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream.
Lady Esther presents the second act of Walt Disney's Pinocchio, starring Fanny Bryce as Baby Snooks, Hanley Stafford as Daddy, Carol Smith as Pinocchio, and Arthur Q. Bryan as Jiminy Cricket.
Did Pinocchio like being an actor, Daddy?
Oh, no, he didn't like it at all.
Why?
Because Stromboli soon discovered he could make a lot of money with Pinocchio. So he locked the little boy in a cage.
Oh. He locked him in a cage?
Oh, yes. What's the matter with you?
Poor little Pinocchio, locked up in a dirty old cage.
Well, I can't help it.
Take him out of the cage.
Now, look, Snooks. He's in the cage because that's the way the story goes. If he wasn't in the cage, there wouldn't be any story. And you'd be up in bed asleep.
Daddy.
What?
I'm glad he's in a cage.
Oh, fine. Now may I continue?
Please do.
Thank you. Well, just when Pinocchio had given up all hope, little Jiminy Cricket found him in the cage, and he called to the Blue Fairy.
Uh-huh.
She came down and decided to give Pinocchio one more chance.
Uh-huh.
So she unlocked the cage, and Pinocchio and Jiminy went hurrying home.
Yeah.
And as they were going along the street...
No, sir. Nothing can stop me now, Jiminy. I'll make good this time.
You better.
I will. I'm going to school.
That's a stuff, Pinocchio.
I'll be smart, too. I'd rather be smart than be an actor.
Well, if it isn't my little friend Pinocchio.
Oh, it's honest, John.
Tell me, Pinocchio, how do you like the great Stromboli?
Oh, he's awful. He locked me in a cage.
He did?
Yes, and he wouldn't feed me. And he made me sing all night.
Oh, you poor boy. You must be a nervous wreck.
Oh, no, I'm not.
Let me see your face. Of course, just as I thought. A slight touch of monetary complication, bucolic semilunar contraption, the flying trapezius.
Oh, golly.
Just open your mouth and say hippopotamus.
Hippopotamus.
I knew it. Compound transmission of the pandemonium by percussion of spasmodic disintegration.
Oh, is that bad?
Let me feel your pulse. Oh, my dear, oh, my goodness. Palpitating syncopation of the killer dillo with a wicky-wacky stomping of the chicory chick. My boy, you are allergic.
Allergic?
Mm-hmm, and there's only one cure, a vacation on Pleasure Island.
Pleasure Island?
The happy land of carefree boys. No school, no work, just fun and noise. I'll take you there. Just wait here, my boy. I'll go and get my carriage.
Jiminy, did you hear what he said? I'm going to go to play. What's the matter, Jiminy?
Pinocchio, don't you let him fool you. That Pleasure Island is a whacket. That's where little boys make jackasses of themselves.
They do?
You bet they do. Their ears get long, and then they sprout tails, and then they can't even talk. They just play. Like this. Hee-haw, hee-haw, hee-haw.
Oh, golly. Let's go home.
That's what I say. What's good? Hey, what do you know? It worked. Come on, Pinocchio. Let's swim. When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong, give it with the whistle. Give it with the whistle. When you meet temptation
And for the rest of his life, Pinocchio always remembered that song. When you get in trouble and you don't know right from wrong,
Daddy,
give a little whistle.
Daddy.
What? What?
Just tell me the story.
Oh. I should have made you go to sleep in the first place. All right. When Pinocchio and Jiminy get to Geppetto's cottage, they find him out.
What do they find out about him?
They found out he was gone. And for heaven's sake, stop asking questions. I can't stand any more.
Poor little Daddy.
You pester me, you interrupt me, you drive me crazy.
Would you feel better if I stopped asking questions?
Yes.
Poor little Daddy.
Now sit back and listen. Jiminy and Pinocchio went looking for Geppetto. And where do you think they found him?
Where?
Inside a whale. Oh? Is that all you have to say? He was actually inside a great big whale.
That's what I had to say.
Well, isn't that remarkable? A man, a full-grown man. Isn't that an awful lot for a whale to swallow?
Isn't that an awful lot for me to swallow?
Well, it happens to be true. What's more, Jiminy and Pinocchio went down to the bottom of the sea and joined Geppetto inside the whale.
Imagine that.
But then the whale clamped his teeth, and they couldn't come out.
The teeth couldn't come out?
No. Pinocchio, Jiminy, and Geppetto couldn't come out.
But you said
Never mind what I said. You said the whale's teeth came out, which is false.
Were they false teeth?
Look, let's get out of the whale's mouth.
How are we going to do it?
Well, Pinocchio had an idea. He figured a way to make the whale blow them out.
Do you make the whale cough?
Well, that's pretty close. But how would you go about making a whale cough?
Get his feet wet.
Whales don't have feet. What Pinocchio did was to build a fire in the whale's stomach.
How did that make the whale blow them out?
Ho, I guess you've never seen a whale sneeze.
A whale sneeze?
Yes.
But you said they didn't have legs.
Oh, Snook, stop acting cute. The whale sneezed. He sneezed, you understand? Achoo. Well, say something.
What's on height?
Snooks, I think I'm going to put you to bed.
Oh, I'll be good. Tell me the rest of the story.
All right. The whale sneezed them out, and old Geppetto nearly drowned. But Pinocchio came to his aid and towed him into shore. In doing so, though, the little wooden boy gave up his own life to save his father's.
Poor Pistachio.
Pinocchio. And when the old man came to, he picked Pinocchio out of the water where he was lying and carried him home. Put him on the bed. And then he kneeled by the bed and cried and cried.
Oh, Pinocchio. Oh, my boy. My brave little boy.
And as he knelt there, the beautiful blue light came in through the window again. It was the blue fairy herself. And she touched Pinocchio with her golden wand. And she said,
Prove yourself brave, truthful, and unselfish. And someday you'll be a real boy. Awake, Pinocchio. Awake.
My poor boy. My poor boy.
Father, what are you crying for?
Because you are dead, Pinocchio.
No, I'm not.
Oh, yes, you are. Now you lie down.
But, Father, I'm alive. See? And I'm a real boy.
You are. You're alive.
Yes.
And you are a real boy. Oh, Pinocchio, Pinocchio. Now all my wishes have come true.
When you wish upon a star, makes no difference who you are. Anything your heart desires will come to you. If your heart is in your dream, no request is too extreme. When you
the end of the story, Snooks. That's the story of Pinocchio. Now it's time you went to sleep. Come on, Snooks, to sleep. Snooks. Now, Snooks, I absolutely insist that you go to sleep.
Oh, but Daddy, I was asleep. You just woke me up. Oh dear.
Thank you, Fanny Bryce, Hanley Stafford, Carol Smith, Arthur Q. Bryan, and all the rest of you who have again made this Christmas such a delightful one for so many people. Your annual performances tonight have contributed a great deal to a work that continues throughout the year, the Motion Picture Relief Fund and its Country House. Thank you again. And thank you, Walt Disney. And now, here's a word from one of America's foremost beauty authorities, Lady Esther.
Are you expecting a lot of pretty new things to wear this Christmas? Wouldn't you like those new things to look especially flattering on you? Well, women tell me that Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder makes a big difference. They say this youthful, romantic new shade makes everything they wear look more exciting. You see, Bridal Pink is deliberately blended to flatter even a dull or sallow skin. You'll see for yourself how it gives instant new life and vitality to your entire appearance, how it gives color and tone to your skin, depth to your eyes, even a new richness to your lips. And it doesn't matter what your own coloring happens to be. You can use Lady Esther Bridal Pink whether your hair is blonde or brunette, auburn or brown. The texture of Lady Esther face powder adds glamour to your skin, too. For the instant you apply it, tiny lines and blemishes seem to vanish, completely covered. Your skin looks so much smoother, so much finer. Try this tomorrow, a real Christmas gift to yourself. First, apply Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream. Wipe it off. Then apply Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder. What a radiant new face you'll present to the world. Remember, Lady Esther Four-Purpose Face Cream and Lady Esther Bridal Pink Face Powder.
Next week, the Lady Esther Screen Guild Players will present Pillow to Post. It will star John Payne and Ida Lupino. Be sure to listen. The Wonderful Adventures of Pinocchio and the Music were presented through the courtesy of Walt Disney, producer of the Technicolor musical Make Mine Music, soon to be released. Fanny Bryce as Baby Snooks can be heard on our own program for Sanka Coffee with Hanley Stafford as Daddy. You save enough on the largest size jar of Lady Esther face cream to buy a box of Lady Esther face powder. So remember, ask for the largest size. Music on tonight's program was arranged and conducted by Wilbur Hatch. This is Truman Bradley speaking for Lady Esther.
Good night, and my best wishes for Christmas and the New Year.
This is CBS, the Columbia Broadcasting System.
This is the Hour of Charm. And here's our First Lady, Evelyn, extending holiday greetings from the All-Girl Orchestra and Choir and Mr. Spitali.
Good evening, everyone. This Christmas program is one of the traditions of the Hour of Charm. In past years, we've held celebrations and parties. We've entertained refugee youngsters and members of our armed forces. But we've never lost sight of the fact that Christmas is a holiday that belongs to the children. So who could be more appropriate to start the program than that little roly-poly fellow with the red suit, white whiskers, and the overflowing pack on his back? We present him to you now, jolly old Saint Nick.
Jolly old Saint Nicholas, in your ear this way. Don't you tell a single soul what I'm going to say. Christmas Eve is coming soon, now you dear old man. Whisper what you'll bring to me. Tell me if you can. Johnny wants a pair of skates, Susie wants a dolly, Nellie wants a storybook, she thinks of her folly. As for me, my little brain isn't very bright. Choose for me, old Santa Claus, what you think is right.
Jolly old St. Nicholas has a pack full of drums, silver flutes, toy trumpets, and lots of other musical instruments. And of course, he knows you like wooden soldiers, too. Well, according to the legends, at midnight, the wooden soldiers come to life, and the parade starts with the music of the toy trumpets. On this night before Christmas, I'm especially grateful for the magic of radio. For years now, you've been kind enough to open your radio doors and welcome me. Tonight, just like jolly old St. Nick, I can come right into your home to say Merry Christmas. I wish I could leave a gift for each and every one of you, but the only way I can do that is with my violin. So my holiday gift for each of you is this song, White Christmas.
'Twas the night before Christmas when all through the house not a creature was stirring, not even a mouse. The stockings were hung by the chimney with care, in hopes that St. Nicholas soon would be there. The children were nestled all snug in their beds, while visions of sugar plums danced in their heads. Mamma in her kerchief and I in my cap had just settled down for a long winter's nap. Went out on the lawn, there arose such a clatter, I sprang from the bed to see what was the matter. Away to the window I flew like a flash, tore open the shutter and threw up the sash. The moon on the breast of the new fallen snow gave the luster of midday to objects below. When what to my wondering eye should appear but a miniature sleigh and 8 tiny reindeer. With a little old driver so lively and quick, I knew in a moment it must be St. Nick. More rapid than eagles his coursers they came, and he whistled and shouted and called them by name. Now Dasher, now Dancer, now Prancing and Vixen, on Comet, on Cupid, on Donner and Blitzen, to the top of the porch, to the top of the wall. Dash away, dash away, dash away all. As dry leaves that before the wild hurricanes fly when they meet with an obstacle mount to the sky, so up to the housetop the coursers they flew, with a sleigh full of toys and St. Nicholas too. And then in a twinkling I heard on the roof the prancing and pawing of each little hoof. As I drew in my head and was turning around, down the chimney St. Nicholas came with a bound. He was dressed all in fur from his head to his foot, and his clothes were all tarnished with ashes and soot. A bundle of toys he had flung on his back, and he looked like a peddler just opening his pack. His eyes, how they twinkled, his dimples, how merry. His cheeks were like roses, his nose like a cherry. His droll little mouth was drawn up in a bow, and the beard of his chin was as white as the snow. The stump of a pipe he held tight in his teeth, and the smoke had encircled his head like a wreath. He had a broad face and a little round belly that shook when he laughed like a bowl full of jelly. He was chubby and plump, a right jolly old elf, and I laughed when I saw him in spite of myself. A wink of his eye and a twist of his head soon gave me to know I had nothing to dread. He spoke not a word, but went straight to his work, and filled all the stockings, then turned with a jerk, and laying his finger aside of his nose, and giving a nod up the chimney he rose. He sprang to his sleigh, to his team, gave a whistle, and away they all flew like the down of a thistle. But I heard him exclaim ere he drove out of sight, Happy Christmas to all, and to all a good night.
Let's imagine the children are tucked snugly in their beds. On every lip there is a prayer for peace, and the windows of the world are opened to welcome the voices of the traditional carol singers.
The wise men departed, and lo, the star which they saw in the east went before them, till it came and stood over where the young child was. And when they saw the star, they rejoiced with exceeding great joy. And there were in the country shepherds abiding in the field, keeping watch over their flock by night. And lo, the angel of the Lord came upon the shepherds on that holy night, and the glory of the Lord shone round about them. And the angel said unto them, Behold, I bring you good tidings of great joy, which shall be to all people.
Peace on earth and mercy on, love and sing.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant, so tender and mild, sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. The all-girl choir draws its inspiration from the words of the great American poet Henry Wadsworth Longfellow. I heard the bells on Christmas Day their old familiar carols play, and wild and sweet the words repeat of peace on earth, goodwill to men. And now, on this Christmas Eve, all of us on the Hour of Charm join all of you in the prayer. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
This is the Armed Forces Radio Service.
Starring Frank Morgan in Names on the Land on the Cavalcade of America, sponsored by the DuPont Company, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. But first, here is Gain Whitman.
One of the most inspiring things about Christmas is the way it brings us together in our thoughts. Under the sparkling lights of the Christmas tree, the family in California and the family in Maine are thinking much the same thoughts this evening, feeling the same pleasure and tenderness, the same goodwill. And the men and women of the DuPont Company derive a little extra joy from the thought that many of the things which add pleasure to your Christmas are made possible or made better by chemistry. We find in such a thought the broader meaning of the DuPont phrase, better things for better living through chemistry.
Frank Morgan appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and is one of the stars of the MGM picture Yolanda and the Thief. The DuPont Company presents Names on the Land, starring Frank Morgan as the train conductor on the Cavalcade of America. Millions of lights twinkle on the Christmas trees tonight in the little towns across our land, which are home to the people who live there. And there are many, many Americans who are at home in those little towns this Christmas Eve for the first time in long, weary years. The names of some of those towns are as familiar as the morning newspaper, and some you've probably never heard of. So, this first peacetime Christmas Eve, the Cavalcade of America takes you on an imaginary train ride, swooping all over the country, seeking out the names of places which stand for home in such a special way tonight. The Names on the Land.
All aboard.
Frank Morgan, your conductor on tonight's mythical train ride, will not only call out the stopping places, but in addition will tell you how some of the names actually came into being. How where you're going got that way.
Board.
Where's this train go, mister?
Oh, this train follows old St. Nick tonight. Goes everywhere, you see. A steamed-up alphabetical train that runs from A to Z. Alisal, Bangor, Cairo, Deal, El Paso, Fiddletown, Great Salt Lake, Happy Creek, or Igo. Jackass Gulch, Knife Creek, Lover's Leap, or Mudville. Neversink, Oh No, Pigeon Roost, or Quack Hill. Rabbit's Ear, Seekonk, Tickle Naked, Unwag. Verdelo, or why not, X-Ray, Yonkers, Zigzag.
Screamerville, that's where I'm going. Surely you heard of that.
Excuse me, lady. I haven't got much time to stand around and chat. But before I let you on this train, now don't be highfalutin. Did you give that there town its name?
Screamerville? You're darn tootin'.
Okay, lady, that's what I figured. Step lightly up inside. Don't need no ticket. You've named a town. That's the price of a ride. This train goes down the alphabet from Abbeville to Zion. And if we don't hit your town, 'twon't be for lack of trying. The men and women on this train are here for just one reason. They've wandered up and down our land, both in and out of season.
exploring it and founding towns and giving each a name that's stuck down through the years and brought each place its fame. They'll tell you when and how and why, each of his own accord. And now we're ready for the letter A. As I said before, boop! A's for Athens, a name of renown, and A's for Altadena, a name jotted down by a real estate agent. He wanted to sell many acres of land. Then there's Alice Hell, named for a lady. But this train's first pause is at Animas, just on account of because.
Animals? Well, that's my stuff. Though I don't much want to get off here. Once was enough.
Your business, sir?
Retired now. Was a cowboy then. Was with a Mexican friend of mine riding over some of the hottest and driest country this side of, you know where.
Yeah,
was looking for water, of course. When we finally found some, we found something else, too.
Amigo, you see what I see?
Looks like a creek.
Yeah, it looks as though we're not the first to find this water, amigo.
Skeletons. 2 of them. Been here some time, I judge.
Look at those pistols. They've been here for over 100 years under the sun. These 2 men, amigo, I do not have envy for them, nor for their souls. Where was the priest to say a Hail Mary for them, huh?
Well, if it's any harder where their souls are than it is right here.
It is harder, amigo. Well, at least we can pay a little honor to these 2, huh? We call this place El Rio de las Animas Perdidas en Purgatorio.
What's all that mean?
Well, animas means souls. The river of the souls lost in purgatory.
Okay. I'll just call it Animas.
B's the next stop. Tonight especially, B stands for Bethlehem. But B also stands for Bangor and Back Bay, Barnegat and Baton Rouge, Beebe and Bear Wallow, Big Shot and Bird in Hand, Bogus Thunder and Bosque Dell, Brandy Gulch and Bridal Veil, Butcher Knife and Bunker Hill, Brooklyn and Bloody Point. Bloody Point? Say, that's the place where 2 strong men stood face to face and swore and shouted and waved their hands as to what divided their 2 lands.
Boundary's the brook.
Boundary's that patch other side of the brook.
I said it's the brook, and so does my sword.
Sword, is it? Oh, I'll give you your sword and fight you barehanded and trim you, too.
Well, go on, then. Start something.
You can be sure I'll finish it, too.
Well, then, go on.
Well, cross that line.
What line?
That one there. Cross it, and I'll show you what's what.
Dare you to knock this chip off my shoulder. I'll cross that line all right, and fast, too.
Well, I will knock the chip off if you're not careful.
Well, why don't you?
Well, I will when I'm ready.
Well, go on.
Well, I will. Don't worry.
Talked big, they did, and yelled and frowned, but no drop of blood ever stained the ground. Their neighbors grinned and christened the joint. To honor the combat, it's called Bloody Point. C stands
for Christmas.
Christmas?
Yep, stands for Christmas, Florida, and Christmas, Arizona, too.
It does, huh? Well, can't stop there.
What? How come?
Well, not tonight, son. It's too soon. Besides, think how busy they are in those towns just answering mail tonight. Hundreds of thousands of letters.
But, Mr. Conductor...
This train will stop there, son, but not till midnight. C stands for Chili Gulch and Chimney Peak. C stands for Christian Flat and Chippicke's Creek. It's Chucklehead Diggins and Cold Kid Creek. It's Chicopee, China, and Cottonwood Creek. It's Currahee Mountain and Cutthroat Bar. It's Crazy Smith's Hill and Climbing Star. It's Cicero, it's Cato, it's Cairo, and Clio. Next stop, D.
There's not many towns that begin with D.
Excuse me, ma'am, if I disagree. There's Della Rosa, Darrington, Danville, Dallas, Devil's Den, Downs, Sockhamtoo, and Darrison, Dial, Dayton, Dome, and Duxon. Yes, plenty of towns that begin with D, where folks are trimming their Christmas tree. There's Dutch Flat, too, and there's Dogdemona. There's Diggers' 100, Dry and Distoma.
You make it very difficult.
Difficult? Now, let me see. Yes, sir. That's another that begins with D.
Difficult? Did I hear you all say difficult? That's where I get off.
You name that town?
Well, I'm afraid maybe. You see, I was postmaster of our town, and it didn't have no name at all. Well, sir, the boys around the store, the general store, we all got together and figured out a grand name.
Yeah, what was it?
Oh, I wouldn't dare try to pronounce it. It was a long, fine-sounding name tucked from the Indians that used to live around our neighborhood. So, anyways, we wrote the share letter down, the name of the town, piece of paper, all neat and pretty, and sent it to Washington to get official approval. 2 weeks or so go by, and big official envelope come back. It's our answer.
Addressed to you, John. Go on, tear it open.
Sure looks official, don't it? That's the right big envelope.
Oh, now don't go on talking about it. Open it.
Well, I'm not going to.
What's it say?
Not so fast. Not so fast. I'm a-reading it.
Well?
And it says here that there's some right smart long words in the share letter.
Well, read it.
Well, from what I see here, first it says they reject our suggestion for a name for the town.
Reject? Fine talk.
They go on and they say here, the name suggested for your town is difficult.
Difficult?
Difficult?
Seems funny, don't it? Well, that's what it says here, though. The name suggested for your town is difficult. Well, government's government. Difficult, they say it is, and difficult Tennessee it'll be.
No passengers for E, F, or G, but I'll give you a kind of potpourri. I'll identify 'em as we go by 'em. Let's see. That's Eden we're now passing through.
Took an advertising man to propose it.
This was called Enola after much ado.
Spells alone if you transpose it.
Next on the E line is 84.
For the date when it was founded.
And here's El Monica. What's that name for?
They just like the way it sounded.
Here's the F line. FF.
Sure enough, here comes the F line. Whole string of towns begin with F, whose names got quotability, like Funny Louie, Frying Pan, Flyaway, Fertility. They're hanging their stockings in Finnegan's Lane, where the frost left its mark on the window pane. In Foxborough...
Mr. Conductor, here we come to the G's, and there's one town I'll name, if you please.
Young lady, I hereby name you a committee of one to tell us the name of your city.
Gene Autry, Oklahoma, we call our town, named after the cowboy of great renown.
Yes, thank you, ma'am. Now just go up there, take a seat, and set, while I cogitate on the next letter in the alphabet. H, huh? Well, that shouldn't be so hard. Let's see. I've got it. Hey, ain't I a card? This program comes to you as a Christmas program should from the NBC studios out in Hollywood.
You were listening to Frank Morgan as the conductor in Names on the Land on the Cavalcade of America, sponsored by the DuPont Company, maker of better things for better living through chemistry. And now all our passengers are once more aboard our Christmas train. Steam pressure is up, and we're off on the second leg of our swift journey across America on this peace-tide Christmas Eve.
If this alphabetical train of ours is ever to get to Z, we've got to cut down the repartee and also the fiddly-dee. Board! Should you ask me what I stands for, ask which towns start with this letter, I will answer you in trophies, suited best for Indian powwow, paying tribute to the red man, first to name our hills and rivers, name our states and towns and mountains, such as Idaho and Illinois and Ichipukasasa, Indian Creek and Indian Bottom, these and also Indianapolis. Also, till I stand corrected, 'twas a red man named Itasca, named it and...
You stand corrected, sir.
How's that?
The word Itasca is no Indian word.
Oh, your name, sir?
Schoolcraft, sir. Henry R. Schoolcraft. The fact of the matter is, sir, that I and a friend of mine, the Reverend William T. Boutwell, being both of us in a canoe, and both in search of the headwaters of the Mississippi, came to a lake called by the Indians Omushkos, or in our tongue, Elk Lake.
Elk?
Yes. Having decided that this lake was the true source of the Mississippi, the Reverend Mr. Boutwell suggested, he was a Latin scholar, sir, suggested that this lake was the Veritas Caput.
Caput?
A Latin phrase, which being translated roughly means...
True source?
Exactly. It was I who then ingeniously, if I may say so, clipped the head off the first word, the tail off the second, and arrived thusly at...
I know, Itasca.
Precisely.
On behalf of the letter J, introducing a former president named Jefferson and a former president named Jackson. Okay, gentlemen.
Well, sir, counting all the Jeffersons, the Jefferson cities, the Jefferson barracks, the Jefferson junctions, and Jeffersonvilles, I make it 41 times that my name has been put to a town or city in this fair country.
41? A nice number for a beginner. Me, I got 53 towns and cities named after me. Jackson's my name.
Excuse me, gentlemen. What were you discussing?
Just figuring who has more towns named after him, Jefferson or Jackson. Appears as though I won out okay. 53.
53? Why, sir, I was never a president, but there are 58 towns named after me.
Yeah, and what, pray tell, sir, is your name?
John, sir. Just plain John.
All passengers for Kanaka, KC, Careless Knob, Kill Creek, Kind Woman's Care, and Kittatinny, change here, chums. That is, if you want to get home before Santa Claus comes. Next stop, Kansas City.
Kansas City? That's me. Let me off.
Hold on, young man. One moment, please. Your story first. How'd you name this town?
Well, in 1838, this was only a piece of land and a general store, and there was maybe a dozen of us got together after we bought this land and the ferry landing where the cork comes into the Missouri. Place me wet was in One-Eyed Ellis's general store.
Gentlemen, a little order, please. Any more suggestions for the name of our town?
How about calling it Rabbitsville?
A serious suggestion.
All right, if that ain't serious enough, how about Possum Trot? Hey, wait a minute. The Coral River enters into the Missouri just a piece upstream. Why don't we call the place Call's Mouth? It's a rare, pretty name, and it's historical, and it goes back to the old Indian name.
Original Indian name wasn't Call. Original Indian name was Kansas. What's wrong with that for a name? We're going to have a city here before we know it, and I move we call it Kansas City.
All passengers for Ladies Canyon, Laughing Gal, Lazy Lady, Louse Creek, and Movie Star. Change at Third Depot. All passengers for Milk Punch, Mud Creek, Minnehaha, and Murderer's Bar. Change here to hang your mistletoe. Now, Man, Cow Rock, and Morgantown. Morgantown? Well, there's a place of great renown. I can tell you how it got its name. It was an ancestor of mine of tremendous fame. My grandfather, Lewiston Boone Morgan...
Now, Frank!
Oh, well, all right. Now we come to the letter N, to Naked Mountain and Airy Red, to Nether Hundred and Never Sink, to Nicodemus and Nipple Butte, to none such and not schlag to Newport.
Newport? Newport? Why, that's my town. Newport, Texas.
You named it?
Well, sort of. Kind of. You see, in my town when we were starting it, there were 7 of us. The other 6 all wanted it named after them.
Oh, shoot the light.
Name it after anybody but me.
My name's the only... Who was here first? That's all I ask. Who
And
was here
besides,
first?
mine's shortest.
Quiet the lot of you. I got an idea, fellas. Now, look here. Your name's Norman, and yours is Ezel.
Well, that's right.
Yours is Welch, and yours is Pruitt, and yours is Owsley, and yours is Riger. And yours is Turner, right?
Sure.
All right, now. You take the first letters of each name and what you got. You got Newport. I done figured it out. That's a nice name. Name of our town is Newport.
And now we come to letter O.
Aw, gee, mister, must we go?
Well, sis, we can pause just now and then, but weren't you through with friendly N?
No. N stands for North Pole and for Northland. That's where Santa lives, I understand. And Santa's little people. Don't you remember? They worked so hard for the month of December.
Absolutely right, Mr. Conductor. You mean to say you forgot all about the Northland? And Santa Claus workshop at the North Pole? Think back a bit. Don't you recall Santa's little people at their workbenches all day and all night, making toys and painting dolls? Come on now, Mr. Conductor, you remember them, working under those north lights, and the little people singing while they work?
Here we go in the snow, making games and toys, coasting sleds and dolly beds for good little girls and boys.
Of course, thanks for reminding me. Merry Christmas to you.
Thanks, and Merry Christmas to you, too.
Oxy Boxy is our O and Pigsty is our P. And while we're at it, just to show that Q's no absentee, here's Quo Quinnapassacessa Managnog. You a gog? I am too. R stands for rabbit's ears and rattle and snap, and also for Richville, the poorest town on the map. And R's for the town where a preacher named Dow gave a sermon that led to reform, and how. Reform they did, and reform it became. And that's how the town of Reform got its name. S. Next stop, the letter S.
S? S is for Springerville. Let me out.
Gladly, madam, gladly. No need to shout. And S stands for something else, too. S stands for...
Strange Creek.
Strange Creek. Who are you?
My name is Strange. I'm a surveyor. Years ago, more years than man can number, I separated from my companions and was lost in the forest. Years later, more years than man can number, I was found 40 miles from where I'd last been seen. My bones beneath a great beech tree. My rifle leaned against the trunk, the shot pouch still dangling. And men read in the tree's smooth bark the words I'd cut with a knife. Strange is my name, and I'm on strange ground. And strange it is I can't be found.
T, the letter T. T stands for a town down in Texas. Total population of 20. They'll thank you to smother your sneers. For this town, 20 is plenty. On Pearl Harbor Day, its name was Tokyo. Today, its name is still Tokyo.
My name is Mrs. Ara Green. I'm assistant postmaster of Tokyo, Texas. People used to write and ask, well, we're going to change the name of our town. Well, our aim in the war was to change the other Tokyo, not this one.
Any passengers for you? Any passengers for you Cross, you Sona, Utica, Utopia? Any passengers for V? Any passengers for Vereen, Vernal Fall, Vive, Voca?
Say, conductor.
Yes?
I'm getting off here.
Well, you better be careful. The snow's pretty deep.
Won't bother me, sir. Merry Christmas. Hup, Donna. Hup, Blitzen.
Donna and Blitzen? Wonder who that is. As if I didn't know. To Wallabout, Want Water, The Wart, to Woo Sung, Whiskey Bar, Wolf Pit, to Why Not.
You say why not?
Why not?
That's me. My town's why not.
Well, how come it's Why Not?
Why not?
Oh, go away. Xerxes and Xena and Xenia twice, and believe it or not, X-ray. And, or did you guess, by special decree, Xmas. Now we've finished the X's, 6 must suffice. Blow the whistle. We're on our way. This train is at its next to last stop. We've come to the letter Y. A century ago, a man named a name. He's here now to tell you why.
It was March of 1851, and I was acting as interpreter for a band of California mounted militia chasing some hostile Indians up into the Sierra Nevadas. Well, toward the close of day, we come suddenly to the brink of a chasm, its immensity magnified by the shadows and mists. As I looked, a peculiar, exalted sensation seemed to fill my whole being, and I said to one man, "We should give this valley a name."
A name?
Yeah, christen it.
Well, maybe you're right at that.
Well, what's your idea for a name? Something out of the Bible?
Yeah, something romantic?
Is something Spanish sounding?
No, I'd suggest an Indian name.
An Indian name? Are you crazy? Why should we name it after the guys we're chasing?
Let's call it Paradise Valley.
But I made a motion for them to vote on. The only name we could yet associate with the place, the name of the Indians whom we'd pursued to this magnificent spot. We called the question. All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Nay?
Nay, nay.
Well, the ayes have it. This valley will be called the Yosemite.
Last stop, the letter Z. The Bible tells the tale of Lot who fled from sin and greed. Men of goodwill in later days sought haven for their creed. They built their town in wilderness, named it from Bible law. The sun was risen in the earth when first they entered Zor. So our train's gone down the alphabet from Animas to Zor. We stopped as often as we could, wish we could have more. In most of the towns we've managed to get to, and in most of the ones we had to forget, too, the men have returned. Best possible Christmas present, so far as we're all concerned. Well, ring the bell. This Christmas train shuffs off the air in just 4 minutes flat. Time left to hang our mistletoe and let it go at that. We hope you liked America, wrapped up in tinsel bright. To each one, Merry Christmas, and to all, a fond good night.
Merry Christmas!
Our star, Frank Morgan, will return to our cavalcade microphone in a moment. Now, here is Gain Whitman.
There was a star. What was more, it was a new star. It sparkled there in the clear blue night sky like a diamond lamp. Anybody could see it. There it was for everybody to see. But only a few men who looked up and saw it understood what it meant. Peace can be ours, they thought, recognizing its sign. And they went to make ready gifts to lay at the feet of the newborn babe who lay asleep in the manger. And because they knew what the star signified, we call them the wise men. We look at the world around us today and we ask, peace? Where is peace? And we are saddened, for we feel that the world can have peace only when there is peace in every man's heart. And that time is not yet. But people said much the same thing in the day of the 3 wise men. Only the wise men saw the star and recognized its meaning. There is the moral. We shall have peace when we become wise. We shall have peace when we become wise in dealing with our neighbors at home and our more remote neighbors across the sea. Wisdom is the star in the heavens to which we must turn this Christmas. In the words of a great American, with malice toward none, with charity for all, with firmness in the right, as God gives us to see the right.
And now, here is Frank Morgan.
Well, we had a lot of fun tonight. I hope you did, too. Next week, for its New Year's Eve broadcast, Cavalcade has prepared for your pleasure a play of the Old West, a fast-moving, suspenseful tale of the early Texas cow country. Walter Brennan will be on hand as your star. Take a tip from me and plan now to set aside a half an hour in your evening to listen to 10 in Texas, starring Walter Brennan, on the DuPont Cavalcade of America. Merry Christmas, everybody.
Music for tonight's DuPont Cavalcade was composed and conducted by Robert Armbruster. A cavalcade play was written by Peter and Jane Lyon and was based on the book Names on the Land by George Stewart.
This is Gain Whitman extending to you on this Christmas Eve warm and friendly holiday greetings for myself, for the artists, writers, and technicians who bring you Cavalcade each Monday night, and for all the men and women of the DuPont Company, makers of better things for better living through chemistry.
This is the National Broadcasting Company.
The Cricket on the Hearth. The National Broadcasting Company presents Charles Dickens' immortal Christmas story, The Cricket on the Hearth.
Old Caleb Plummer and his blind daughter lived all alone by themselves in a little cracked nutshell of a wooden house. And what a miserable little place it was. But under its crazy little roof lived the man who did the work which made Gruff and Tackleton famous. You see, Gruff and Tackleton sold toys, and it was Caleb Plummer who made them. Yes, Caleb Plummer made toys and lived in his shabby little house, while Gruff and Tackleton became the largest toy merchants in all England. And so, even on the night before Christmas, Caleb Plummer sat in the toy shop, carving away industriously at some last-minute animal.
There now, just a shade more off the flanks. A little curve to the horns, and you'll be the finest little ox to go into the yard. Be a good little ox. Keep warm. Make somebody happy tomorrow for Christmas. I'm coming. Just a moment. Oh, Mr. Tackleton. Merry Christmas to you, Mr. Tackleton.
What's that?
Merry Christmas to you, sir. The best you've ever had.
Christmas? Oh, that. I didn't come here to talk about Christmas, Plummer. Don't believe in it. Have no use for it except in a business way. What about those orders? Have you finished the Jack-in-the-Box?
Yes, sir. Here it is. Look.
Oh, take it away, horrible thing.
The children love them, sir.
Ah, the children. Don't mention their names to me. Spent my life making toys for them. I'm sick of children. Sick of toys. Let's hear no more about it. What of the ark?
I just put the last animal inside. It's ready to go now.
How about Noah?
Up in front on the deck. See him? And here at the window is Noah's wife. See, through this porthole.
All right. Just so you've got them. Well, you can run along now, Plummer.
You won't need me any more tonight, then?
No, but come in a little earlier tomorrow morning to make up for it.
But tomorrow is Christmas, sir.
Well, what of it?
But on Christmas, surely you don't mean
Surely
it.
I do mean it. Have you forgotten your place, Mr. Plummer? If you feel the need of taking Christmas off, why, there are 100 good toy makers in London who would be glad to take your place. Why, sir, they'd fight for the chance.
You mean you'd dismiss me if I didn't come in tomorrow?
That's right, Plummer. Out you go, just like that.
But my daughter...
She's your daughter, not mine. I can't stop business just because you've got a daughter and she's blind. Business is a thing which doesn't wait for Christmas or your daughter or anything else. Now, will you or won't you be in tomorrow?
I'll be in, sir.
And an hour earlier, too.
Yes, sir. Please, sir, if you could advance me a little, just a little, on next week's pay.
Advance you?
What about last week's pay? Have you squandered it already?
No, sir. It went for food and for canvas to tack up over the ceiling.
And what's wrong with the ceiling?
There are holes in places. The snow drifts in at night sometimes, so we just thought we'd buy canvas and not trouble you with our silly problem.
Yeah.
So, you see, our money, it didn't quite stretch and, well...
Well, what? Speak up, plumber.
Well, it's gone, sir.
Are you without food?
No, sir, but...
Do you have wood for the stove?
Yes, sir.
And sufficient covering for the bed?
Yes, sir.
In other words, you're asking me for money when you already have food, warmth, and a bed to lie in? Plumber, that's downright greed. As for the advance, no. You spent your past wages, now you must wait until next week. You must learn thrift.
But could you... Only a few pence, that's all. She's blind, sir. All alone in the house, all day. In the dark, all alone. Nothing to live for but her father's footstep on the stairs. Please, sir, a tree would mean so much to her.
I'm sorry, plumber. There's no good working on my sentiment. I'm determined to teach you a lesson, and teach you I shall, even though it hurts me to do so. Good night, plumber. And remember, 1 hour earlier tomorrow morning, Christmas or no Christmas.
Caleb Plummer walked home very slowly that night, the only sad and dismal figure on the crowded street. Everywhere else, there was Christmas. The whole street was alive and warm with the joy of Christmas. You could hear it in the laughter of their voices as they shouted back and forth,
Merry Christmas! Merry Christmas to you, sir!
Merry Christmas!
Merry Christmas, Harry! Merry Christmas, Alf!
You could see Christmas in the small boys and girls. They stood before the greengrocer's window and stared with round eyes at the things inside.
Look at that turkey. Would you look at that turkey? Oh, he's the biggest turkey I ever saw. No, he's not the biggest, but he's almost the biggest. The one Grandma had last year was the biggest. Was not. The wings on this one are bigger. They are not. They are so. They are not. They are so. They are not.
You could see Christmas in the shops. They were crammed full of it, bursting with it. Christmas overflowed from their cheerful interiors like stuffing from a roast fowl. There were mince pies on the counters with a sprig of holly stuck in each one, and baked hams stuck full of cloves like huge red pincushions. And all of it together, breathing the warmth and cheer of Christmas morrow. Everywhere there was Christmas. Everywhere except in the heart of Caleb Plummer. He walked around the square, scarcely looking in the shops, scarcely aware of the crowds that jostled against him. He just plodded along, very tired, very old, very much alone. And then, almost before he knew it, he was home.
Father, it's you. For a moment I didn't recognize your step. It was so different. You must be tired tonight.
Tired? What a silly girl you are. Your father's much too young a man to grow tired. How was the day, Mary?
Oh, not too long. I sewed doll dresses all morning. And then this afternoon I put shoe button eyes on the animals.
If it were only as easy to
put eyes on me. That's what you were going to say, wasn't it? Sometimes I wish I could, too. Just look at the world through shoe button eyes. But, well, it really doesn't matter too much. I have my own world here. It's a kind and comfortable world. Perhaps that's because I've always seen it through your eyes.
Do you mean that, Mary?
Yes.
But all the same, you do want to see, don't you?
Oh, sometimes, yes. When I'm alone here, and the clock ticks, and the darkness is all over. Times like that, if it weren't for the cricket, I don't think I could...
Is he still here?
Oh, yes.
And he still chirps away?
All the time. He keeps me from being lonely.
They say it's luck, Mary. To have a cricket on the hearth is the luckiest thing in the world.
Father, is anything wrong? You seem so quiet tonight, and you speak strangely.
Oh, not a thing, girl, not a thing. A hard day at the shop, but that's all.
That's not the real reason, Father. But now I know what it is.
What?
Without asking, I know there's a fir tree in the room. Your step didn't have its usual lightness tonight, and that's what you were carrying. You even set it down without my hearing it. It's true, isn't it, Father?
Yes, it's true, Mary.
Oh, where is it? Let me feel its branches.
Oh, it's in the far corner of the room. Right near the window where it's cool.
Oh, lead me over to it, Father.
No, not tonight. Tomorrow morning, bright and early. Oh, on Christmas morning. That's when a tree should first be discovered.
Oh, but can't I even touch it?
Tomorrow morning, yes.
Oh, then see it for me now. What does it look like?
It's a young tree. Dark and bushy, with its branches curving up to heaven. The cones on it are tiny and dry, and there's still a few snowflakes left in the branches. It's a Christmas tree, Mary. So small, so filled with greenness and life, that the Christ child himself might have blessed it and sent it here to us. It's a Christmas tree such as you've never dreamed of.
And so, on that Christmas Eve, Mary dreamed of a small fir tree with ripe berries of holly entwined in its branches. She dreamed of snow and the jingling of sleigh bells, and she saw the Yule log burn cheerfully in the fireplace. She heard the chestnuts pop and crackle, and from somewhere on the hearth, she even heard the voice of her merry friend, the cricket. Outside, the church bells rang and pealed and reverberated over the white roofs of London. And inside, the cricket chirped as though he too would add his bit of praise to that of the bells. Lying there on his cot, shivering in the coldness of the room, Caleb Plummer closed his eyes. In the silence of his heart, he spoke as though to a friend.
Don't let her find out now, dear Lord. She doesn't have to know that I'm an old man and that it's a hovel here. She doesn't have to know that. I've given her another world. Maybe it's a make-believe one, but it's real to her. That's why I say, Lord, please keep it that way for her. Don't let her find out. I believe if you set a tree down in that corner tonight, it would be there tomorrow. It really would, Lord, and I believe it. Please make a miracle. Please let a tree be there when she wakes up tomorrow.
Caleb Plummer fell asleep, believing in a miracle. And the cricket began to chirp again, and his song was like a blessing to the room. But in another quarter of the city, Tackleton slept. To say that he slept is perhaps a whimsical way to put it. His body slept, but his mind, that was a different thing. Dream after dream succeeded each other in rapid sequence. One minute he was jumping from star to star, like someone crossing a river on stones. And the next moment, he had missed one of the stars and dropped like a plummet back to earth again. Tackleton had a whole year of nightmares rolled into one. Somewhere past the hour of 4, the nightmares quit galloping about and went off to their stables. And peace came at last to poor Tackleton's brains. But only for a moment, because the next thing he knew, the covers whisked from his bed, and invisible force propelled him violently to a chair. Something pushed him down hard. And this is what happened to Tackleton.
Hear ye, hear ye, hear ye. The court is now in session. Quiet. Quiet, I say. Quiet. Order in the courtroom. I am Noah. I am captain of this ark. I want no more interruptions from any of you. Now to the prisoner Tackleton. Who's for the defense? Come now. Who's for the prisoner Tackleton? What do you say, Captain Kidd?
Not me, Captain Noah. And not any of us dolls here. I'm for hoisting him to the yard, officer. How about the rest of you?
Quiet. Quiet, I say. Quiet. Captain Kidd, this is an English court, sir, and the principles of law and order will be obeyed. Now, who will defend the prisoner Tackleton? No one? Then the prisoner must defend himself. Tackleton, rise to your feet and face the courtroom. What do you see before you, sir?
Animals, birds, toys of all sorts, Your Worship.
That's quite right, Tackleton. Toys. You've been selling us for years. Now we've come to try you. What of the man who makes us?
I don't know.
Where is he?
Home.
Is it a good home?
Yes, a very good home.
And food. Does he have enough to eat?
Oh, yes, I pay him bountifully.
And his daughter? Is she well provided for?
Oh, yes, Your Worship. She's blind. And I want her to have the best of everything.
In short, you are a good employer. You take care of this man well.
Yes, Your Worship. He lives like a prince.
Order in the court. Order, I say. Order. Prisoner, listen to your perjury thrown back at your teeth. Bailiff, bring forward the detective Christopher Dogberry. Christopher Dogberry, you were the paid agent of the assembled toys here?
Yes, Your Honor.
Tell us about your findings in this case.
Well, in the first place, the prisoner here is a downright liar.
Order! Order! Go on with the story, Dogberry, and please refrain from indulging in personalities.
Sorry, Your Honor. Well, I've been snooping around. Investigating said house of Caleb Plummer. And, sir, if you'll pardon my saying it, it's an owl that no self-respecting rat would live in. But there's one wonderful thing about it, sir, and it's this. That girl, she don't know nothing about how bad it is. No eyes to see with. She believes what he tells her. It seems to me, sir, he's done with her what he's done with us. Out of an old block of wood, he's made the forms of all of us. And out of a sad and dirty world, he's given her a world for a fine lady to live in.
Silence! Silence! Order! Order, I say! Prisoner, you've heard the testimony. Is it true or false?
It's true.
You will confess to each and every crime?
Yes, but spare me. Have mercy.
Did you have mercy today when Caleb Plummer asked you for a few pence to buy a tree? Prisoner, all of us here, dolls and animals and toys and birds, all of us that Caleb Plummer has carved so well,
We're leaving you with a body, sir, and are going to the warehouses of your competitors. And without us, you will go bankrupt. This is the sentence of the court.
Oh, one more chance, Your Worship. Just one more. I'll do anything, just so you'll all stay here on my shelf.
What will you do?
Whatever you say, just mention it. I'll do it.
Will you raise the wages of Caleb Plummer?
Yes. I'll do that today when he comes in.
But today is Christmas. Have you forgotten?
Oh, to be sure. No, he won't have to come in today. But tomorrow, yes, I'll raise his wages then.
And the house?
I'll give him a better house. A real house. A fine one. A beauty. I promise.
And Christmas. What about that?
I'll take care of that, too. I'll take care of it all, I promise you. They'll have the biggest turkey you ever saw. And a tree. And everything else besides. Please, Your Worship. There are the bells ringing now. It's Christmas morning. Give me a chance to show I mean right.
Prisoner, the court will show mercy if you too will show mercy. But if you ever fail once, beware.
And when Tackleton woke up, he was sitting in his bedroom chair, weeping and laughing and shivering with the clear Christmas air that filled the room. Tackleton went to the window and looked out. Never before had the world looked so bright, so cheerful, so filled with hope and promise. When he remembered Caleb Plummer, he scurried across the room to his wardrobe closet and began frantically to dress himself. It was still early yet. He hurried. He still would have time. If only his fingers wouldn't fumble so with the buttons, and if only his hands wouldn't shake so much. He almost tumbled down the stairway in his eagerness to get to the shop. And here is how a miracle came to pass.
Hello there, storekeeper. Chestnuts, fruit, pies, tarts. Bother the price. Baskets full. Just pile them high, and the best of everything. Holly, mistletoe. Yes, and there it is, the very thing. A little fir tree. I want some hams, those little ones. And a turkey, the biggest, fattest one you have.
Through the snow-covered streets, through the half-light of early morning, Mr. Tackleton hurried, his arms laden with gifts. And later that morning, when Caleb Plummer awoke, he found that the miracle he'd prayed for had come to pass. But whether it was the prayer, or whether it was the surprising Mr. Tackleton, or whether it was the cricket singing so merrily on the hearth, he couldn't say. All he knew was that a miracle had happened and that the cricket was the first thing he had heard when he woke up. But then he found a note, a few brief words pinned to the coverlet of his bed.
Take the day off.
The note was signed with the single word,
Tackleton.
Quickly, Caleb Plummer stepped across the room to his daughter's cot and wakened her.
Mary, it's Christmas morning. Hear the bells.
I hear them. Oh, Father, the tree. Can I discover it now?
Let me lead you there. Here, take my hand. And the things you'll find under it. Mary, remember what I said yesterday? A cricket on the hearth is the luckiest thing in the world.
And so our story ends with the chirping of the cricket. May his joyous Christmas carol bring luck to your hearth too, so that all of us may one day sing it as he so cheerfully does. Peace on earth, goodwill to men.
Just heard Frederick J. Lipp's adaptation of Charles Dickens' Christmas masterpiece, The Cricket on the Hearth. Mr. Tackleton was played by Arthur Sedgwick, with Charles Eggleston as Caleb Plummer. Everett Clark was the narrator. The orchestra was under the direction of Joseph Colicchio, with original music by Dr. Roy Shield. The entire production was under the direction of Albert Cruz. This is NBC, the National Broadcasting Company.
This episode from the life of Sherlock Holmes will be transmitted to our men and women overseas by shortwave and through the worldwide facilities of the Armed Forces Radio Service. Petri Wine brings you Basil Rathbone and Nigel Bruce in the new adventures of Sherlock Holmes. The Petri family, the family that took time to bring you good wine, invite you to listen to Dr. Watson tell us another exciting adventure he shared with his old friend, that master detective, Sherlock Holmes. Well, right about now, you're probably taking a little breather in your last-minute rush to get everything ready for the big day tomorrow. Children have to be put to bed to wait for Santa Claus, and there's the tree waiting to be decorated, and, a million and one things which must be done before morning. I sure hope you got all your Christmas shopping done. Pretty hectic rushing off at the last minute to take care of Uncle Charlie or Aunt Bertha or Cousin Sam. But if you must get something, just remember that you can always dash over to your wine merchant and get a bottle or two of Petri wine. Or better yet, a whole case of Petri wine. Petri wine's a swell gift, and I just thought a little last-minute suggestion might be of some help. And now I'm sure our good friend Dr. Watson's waiting for us, so let's go in and join him.
Come in. Ah, there you are, Mr. Bartell.
Oh, say, Doctor, I can see you're going to have yourself quite a Christmas. Big tree in the corner with colored lights on it. Where'd you get those? Table covered with presents? You must be mighty popular.
Oh, they aren't all for me, my boy. You see, I'm having a Christmas party tomorrow for my housekeeper's little nieces.
Oh.
I'm going to dress up as Santa Claus for them.
Well, I'm sure you look very convincing in the part. Oh, by the way, Doctor, I brought you a little present.
Ooh,
Here it is. I hope you'll like it.
Mr. Bartell, I got one for you, too, here, Summer. Oh, you mustn't open it until tomorrow. Here you are, my boy.
Thanks a lot, Doctor. And now, how's about tonight's story? Last week you told us you'd chosen an adventure with a lot of Christmassy atmosphere.
Yes, Mr. Bartell. My story begins on another Christmas Eve many, many years ago. To be exact, in 1886. The time the adventure occurred, I must confess I didn't quite understand what was going on myself. In fact, I never did quite make head or tails of it until Holmes took pity on me later and explained the whole thing. But I shan't try to confuse you, Mr. Bartell. I'll tell you the story exactly as it happened.
Right you are, Doctor. Let's go.
Very well. On that Christmas Eve in 86, I was standing in our Baker Street rooms, dressed in the costume of Santa Claus. Holmes, his long, thin fingers pressed together, lay back in an armchair and gazed at me quizzically, while our housekeeper, Mrs. Hudson, stood by the door and...
Dr. Watson, you make a grand Santa Claus.
Doesn't he, Mrs. Hudson? Try the beard on, Watson, old chap.
I'm afraid this is going to be a little uncomfortable. How does it look?
Oh, you look just like the old man on the Christmas cards, Doctor.
Yes, Watson. It really becomes you. The cheery twinkle of the eyes, the ruddy complexion, and the appropriate girth. What a shame we can't obtain some snow on a sleigh and reindeer for you. However, I'm sure Mrs. Hudson's nieces will be very much impressed.
Oh, they will that, sir. And it's very kind of you, Doctor, to offer to come over to their house with me. With his father in the hospital and my sister at his bedside, it would have been a very miserable Christmas without me.
Oh, I shall enjoy myself, but I think I'll take this beard off before we get there. That's it. Are you ready to leave, Mrs. Hudson?
I am, sir. Will I get a cab?
How far do we have to go?
Oh, Lexington Gardens, number 28. It's just off the Edgware Road, Doctor.
It's not far, but bearing in mind my costume, I suppose we'd better take a cab.
Aye, sir. I'll get one.
Holmes, what are you going to do with yourself? I hate leaving you alone on Christmas Eve.
Oh, don't worry, old chap. I shall spend a profitable evening writing on my new monograph.
Well, what's this one about?
An analysis of teeth marks on pipe stems, with particular regard to indicated character.
Oh, gracious me, how exciting. Well, I must be going.
Don't forget your sack of presents, old fellow.
No.
When you come to distribute them, you'll find that I took the liberty of adding a few trinkets on my own behalf.
Oh, that's very thoughtful of you, Holmes.
Oh, excuse me, Mr. Holmes, but there's a gentleman to see you. Says he's an old friend of yours. Here's his card, sir.
Oh, thank you. Oh, it's old Whitcomb. Splendid. Ask him to come up, please, Mrs. Hudson.
All right, sir.
And I hope your party is a great success, Mrs. Hudson.
Thank you, sir. Are you sure you don't want me to stay? Now that you have a visitor.
Oh, no. Indeed, no, Mrs. Hudson. I can show the gentleman out myself. You go off and have a good time.
Thank you, sir.
I wonder what Lord William wants. Perhaps I should stay.
No, please, my dear fellow. Certainly not.
Huh?
You've far more important work to do. Whitcomb probably wants his revenge at chess. Or something equally innocuous. Off with you, my dear fellow, and enjoy yourself.
Oh, I better go. Just the same, I wish you were coming with me. I'll see you later.
I shall be there. Come on up, Whitcomb.
Hello, Holmes. Evening, Watson. You make a very convincing Santa Claus. Are you leaving?
I'm afraid so, Lord Whitcomb.
Well, good night, then.
Good night, sir.
How are you, Holmes? All alone on Christmas Eve, eh?
Yes, Whitcomb, I'm glad you came over to see me. Mm-hmm. What's it to be, an evening of chess, or have you unearthed some recent treasure of medieval pottery that we can discuss?
Neither, Holmes. I've come to you in your professional capacity. I need help.
Oh, come now, Whitcomb. Don't tell me that after all these years of quiet friendship, you're going to become a client.
I'm afraid so, Holmes. No, I doubt if my problem will interest you very much. It's hardly up to your rather colourful standards. Care for a cigar?
Oh, thanks. Well, now, my dear Whitcomb, what's your trouble?
Well, I decided this year to have a little Christmas party at my townhouse. I'm quite comfortably off, as you know, and it occurred to me that I have several relatives and friends who are not as well off. I'm having a party for them tonight, Holmes, and I hope you'd attend it, disguised as Santa Claus.
Oh, my dear fellow. I've adopted many disguises in my time, but Father Christmas has never been one of them. Why do you want me to attend your party in disguise in any case? You ashamed of your friendship with a private detective, or do you consider my features more acceptable when buried beneath the depths of a snowy beard?
Oh, my dear Holmes, do take me seriously. I'm not joking, I assure you.
Of course you're not. You want me to attend your party in disguise. Why?
I'm giving some very valuable presents, diamond and onyx cufflinks, platinum and ruby earrings, and such like. And I've wrapped each of the presents in banknotes.
Oh, dear me. Where are these presents now?
In the sack, in charge of my butler. I was going to dress up as Santa Claus and give them out myself, until I got the warning letter. That's why I've come to you.
Warning letter, eh?
Yes, I received it by this evening's post. Listen to this. My dear Lord Whitcomb, your generosity with Christmas presents borders on ostentation. We do not approve. Either we receive £5,000 in sovereigns at Post Restaurant, Box 379 by 6 o'clock on Christmas Eve, or I'm afraid your Christmas party will be conspicuous by its absence of presents.
Let me see that note, Whitcomb, will you?
Yes, here you are.
Thanks. Plain paper, torn from a penny notebook. The writing is obviously disguised. By George, yes. Whitcomb, I accept the case. I'll come with you to your party at once, and furthermore, I shall follow your suggestion regarding a disguise. Dressed as Santa Claus, I shall be less likely to attract suspicion.
I'm delighted, Holmes. But what made you decide so suddenly?
This writing, my dear fellow, this writing. In a false hand, I'd know that characteristic M in my dear Whitcomb. I've seen it too often at the beginning of a signature. Moriarty.
Moriarty? Who's he?
Oh, one of the cleverest and most unscrupulous criminals in England. Whitcomb, there's no time to be lost. Let me see now. 6:30. Half an hour beyond the deadline given you in this letter. We must go to your house at once.
This is as far as the cab can take us, Doctor.
Oh, here you are, cabby. Here's 5 shillings for you and a Merry Christmas.
Oh, bless you, Jim, and a Merry Christmas to you, too.
You said you wanted to get into the house through the back way so that you could surprise the children.
Yes, I thought I'd send you to come down the kitchen chimney.
Oh, you can get to the back of the house by going up the alley here. I'll go in the front door.
Splendid, Mrs. Hudson. Which is the house?
Number 28. It's the third one down the alley, Doctor. I'll have the back window open in no time, and you can slip in without any of the bairns seeing you.
Very well. Gloomy little street, I must say. Oh, well, where's the music coming from?
Oh, it's from that temple across the street, Doctor. The disciples of the octagonal square, they call themselves.
What on earth do you suppose that means?
Oh, some newfangled cult. Heathens, most likely.
Oh, hello. I'm not the only Santa Claus abroad tonight. Look at that fellow across the street over there.
Oh, dressed just like yourself, Doctor, and carrying a sack, too. Oh, he's running up the steps to the temple.
Hey, Scotty, he slipped on the ice. Oh, I wonder what his hurry was. Here, my man.
Be careful now, Doctor. Dinner trip for yourself.
Here you are, sir. Now, give me a hand.
Thank you, sir. Silly of me, wasn't it?
Oh, we Santa Clauses have to help each other, you know. Up you come. That's it. Whoop.
Oh, Doctor, I told you to be careful. Now you've fallen, too.
Oh, it's this confounded red coat of mine. It tripped me up.
Did you hurt yourself, sir?
No. I'm all right, I think. How about you, sir?
Well, I'm all right, thanks.
Oh.
Silly of me to run, wasn't it?
Here's your sack, sir.
Well, thank you. Good night, and Merry Christmas.
Good night, same to you. Same to you. Oh, he went into the temple. Must be a disciple of the octagonal square.
You're sure you're no hurt, Doctor?
No, of course not, Mrs. Hudson. Give me my sack, please. Thank you. Your sister's house is the third one down this alleyway, is there?
I'll hurry and open the back window.
Yes, I'll be waiting for you, Mrs. Hudson. This is rather fun. What a shame Holmes isn't with us. Oh, well, he's probably happier having a good game of chess with Lord Whitcomb.
This is my house, Holmes. Number 39.
39 Branston Square, eh? And dear old Watson is just around the corner in Lexington Gardens and hasn't any idea that I've left Baker Street.
Yes, here you are, Caddy.
Thank you, sir. Merry Christmas, sir.
Uh-huh. Listen to that. Carol singers.
Yes, we'll probably have our fill of them before this evening's over.
Good evening, my lord.
Have the guests arrived, Hargreave?
Most of them, sir. They're in the library. You brought another Santa Claus with you, I see, my lord.
Another Santa Claus? What do you mean?
The gentleman arrived 3/4 of an hour ago, sir, dressed as Santa Claus. I took him to your study, my lord, and showed him the sack of presents.
Confound it! He's got here before us. Where's this study?
This way.
I hope I didn't do wrong, my lord. You told me that a gentleman dressed as Santa Claus would be coming here. Dear me. The gentleman appears to have gone.
Yes, and the sack containing the presents with him.
But he can't have left the house, my lord. I've been watching the front door.
Yes, and while you were doing that, he slipped out through the window here. The catch is undone. Hargrave, describe this man.
I can't tell you much about his appearance, I'm afraid, sir. He was dressed as Santa Claus, just like yourself. But I did notice one thing about him, sir.
Oh? What was that?
He lisped, sir. It was quite pronounced.
Of course. Lou the Lisper.
Who on earth is Lou the Lisper?
One of Moriarty's most trusted accomplices. Fortunately, though, I've had news of him lately through my underworld grapevine.
You know where he lives?
He is reputed to have some connections with a new cult that calls themselves the Disciples of the Octagonal Square. Their headquarters are just around the corner from here.
Let's go there at once.
Of course, and Hargrave.
Yes, sir.
Get a message to Scotland Yard as fast as you can. Ask for Inspector Lestrade and tell him to join me at the Temple of the Octagonal Square in Lexington Gardens as soon as possible.
Oh, the children are awful excited, Doctor. I told them you just came down the chimney.
I'll slip the bed on and then I'll go into them. There we are.
Will I announce you, Doctor?
Yes, please, Mrs. Hudson.
All right, sir. Now, children, quiet. Santa Claus has come to see you, and he's brought you all presents.
Hello, children.
Hello, Santa Claus. My name's Elsie. Did you bring me a present?
Why, I did, Elsie. I'll look in my sack in a minute. And what's your name, young man?
Herbert, they call me Bertie. Did you come down the chimney?
Yes, Bertie.
I bet you had a time doing it. You're so fast.
Oh, don't be rude, Bertie, or Santa Claus won't give you your present.
And what's your name, little man?
Maya, though. I've got a cold.
Yes, I see you have. Well, children, gather round me and I'll see what present I got for you. The first present is for... Oh, probably right. It says for Her Grace, the Dowager Duchess of Beulah.
Oh, do you suppose Mr. Holmes has been playing a practical joke on you, Doctor?
I suppose so. Well, I can't see the point, so. But he did say that he'd added a few trinkets of his own.
I want my present.
Then supposing you take this, Elsa.
Ooh, thank you.
And this one is marked for the Reverend Arthur Carter. I knew what Holmes was up to. Here you are, Bertie.
Cool, thanks.
And this is for you, Lionel, because you've been a good little boy.
This isn't very big, is it? I wanted the dog.
Oh, wanted the dog. Well, I'll bring you a dog next year, Lionel.
Dr. Watson.
Yes?
Oh, look at the wrapping on these presents, Doctor. They're 20-pound notes.
Cut.
Oh, cool. Look what I got.
Now, let me see. Why, cufflinks and diamond and onyx ones, unless I'm very much mistaken.
I got some pretty earrings. Look how they sparkle.
Let me see, Elsie. Good gracious, I swear that these are platinum and rubies. What in thunder's going on?
I want my earrings back. Give me back mine, too.
Well, here you are.
Dr. Watson, what do you suppose has happened?
I don't know, Mrs. Hudson. Perhaps my toys are still at the bottom of the sack. I can't understand it. I wish Holmes were here instead of dozing in front of our fire in Baker Street.
Where are you, Holmes?
Here by the bed. This is the only room in the temple that gives any signs of having been lived in. I think our bird has been here, but I'm afraid he's flown. If Inspector Lestrade will get here, strike a match, will you, Whitcomb?
Right. Yeah. Here's a candle on the table.
Oh, just as I feared. Look on the bed.
A red coat and a beard.
Yes, Lou the Lisper has discarded his disguise and gone, and with him, I'm afraid, your valuable presents.
Oh, wait a minute. Here's a sack lying on the floor. Oh, no, this isn't mine. Look what's in it. A toy dog, large box of chocolates, little girl's doll.
What in thunder? Well, this is Watson's sack.
But how on earth could Lou the Lisper have got hold of it?
Somewhere, somehow, he and Watson must have made an accidental change, and Lou the Lisper is no doubt trying to track Watson down at this very moment. He must work fast, Whitcomb, or my friend's life and those of Mrs. Hudson and her relatives won't be worth a tinker's dam.
Oh, now, Doctor, you can't break off your story there.
Oh, yes, I can, my boy. Before I go on, I thought we'd have a glass of port just to freshen us up.
Oh, well, that's something different. Of course. Instead of talking about port, as I sometimes do, it'll be nice to drink some for a change.
There you are, my boy, and a Merry Christmas to you.
The same to you. And now, what happened next, Doctor? We left you at the children's Christmas party, and Sherlock Holmes and Lord Whitcomb around the corner at the Temple of the Octagonal Square.
Yes, Mr. Bartell, although at the time, of course, I had no idea what was going on. There I was, cheerfully handing out gifts worth, well, if not a king's, at least a baronet's ransom. While outside the Temple of the Octagonal Square, Holmes and Lord Whitcomb were talking to Inspector Lestrade at Scotland Yard.
That's the case in a nutshell, Lestrade.
Yeah, it seems to me, Lord Whitcomb, you'd have been wiser to get in touch with Scotland Yard when you first got the warning note. We could have nabbed him when he came to your house and pinched the sack of presents.
Lestrade, this is no time for post-mortems. We've got to reach Lou the Lisper before he finds Dr. Watson.
Do you suppose he can do that, Holmes?
It wouldn't be difficult. Lou the Lisper is nearly as clever as his master, Professor Moriarty. The chances are that you were followed when you came to Baker Street tonight, Whitcomb, and it's equally likely that Watson and Mrs. Hudson were followed as they left it. Moriarty seldom leaves anything to chance.
Well, where did Dr. Watson go tonight?
28 Lexington Gardens. It's just around the corner from here.
Well, then let's go there at once.
Fight not quarry away. No, Lestrade. We must use a little subtlety. Now, Lou the Lisper wishes to recover that sack of presents from Watson. How would he invade the party with the least possible trouble?
By dressing up as Santa Claus again?
No, I think he's overplayed that role for one evening.
Well, then how would he try to get in, Mr. Holmes?
Oh, come now, Lestrade. What group of people can enter any house on Christmas Eve without invitation, without creating suspicion?
The carols.
Exactly, my dear fellow. I shouldn't be at all surprised if at this very moment Lou the Lisper and some of his gang are singing carols outside 28 Lexington Gardens.
Well, then what are we going to do?
Form a rival choral society. How many of your men did you bring with you?
3. A sergeant and 2 constables.
Wearing greatcoats?
Yes, Mr. Holmes. But why?
Good. They can hide their helmets and pretend to be singers. Come on. Let's go over there, and while we're walking, we'll rehearse our carols. We must appear reasonably convincing. Sound your A, Lestrade. Sound your
For a ride at your back, Santa Claus?
No, you mustn't make Santa Claus too tired.
Oh, that's all right, Mrs. Hudson. Hop on, Lal, hop on.
Oh, isn't that nice?
Can't they come inside and sing for us, Santa
Yes, of
Claus?
course they can. Ask them to come in, Mrs. Hudson, will you?
All right, sir.
Oh, come on, let me get on your back, too.
Oh, now, take it easy. Oh, there we go.
I want to see your reindeer, Santa.
See my reindeer? Oh, bother. Stop on the roof.
I'll climb up and see them.
No, you mustn't do that. They're asleep. Oh, here are the carol singers. Off you get, children. There we go. That's it. Now, good evening, gentlemen.
Good evening, and Merry Christmas.
Would you like to sing some carols for the children? After that, I'm sure you'd like a drop of something to warm you up.
Well, thank you, sir. We should like that.
Haven't I met you before somewhere, my man?
No, sir, I'm sure you haven't. Come on, man, let's sing Good King Wenceslas.
Good King Wenceslas looked out on a feast on Stephen.
Well, here we are outside the house, Mr. Holmes. Now what?
Listen. Lou the Lisper and his men are already there.
Are we going in now?
In a moment. Now, men, you will have your truncheons handy?
Yes, Mr. Holmes, we're ready.
Splendid. Now, remember, when we're inside and I yell Merry Christmas at the top of my voice, you bring out your truncheons and get Lou the Lisper and his gang out of there as quickly as possible. Don't arrest them until you get them outside again, Lestrade. I don't want to frighten the children.
Watch on, Mr. Holmes. We're ready. Just give us the word and we'll go in and get them.
That was very nice singing. And now, how about something to warm you all up?
That won't be necessary, Dr. Watson. See to the door, Sammy. Now, all of you, stay right where you are.
Who are you? What do you think you're up to?
Please don't be difficult, Doctor. All I want is the jewels out of my sack that you stole from me tonight. If you try and stop me, I shall have to hurt you.
Why do you talk so funny? You got a cold like me?
Shut up. Now, Doctor, where are the jewels? Oh, curse it. There are some more carol singers outside.
Doctor, have you got away, Lou?
No, better let them come in. If we don't, they might get suspicious.
All right, Lou. First you know what you're up to.
Now, no tricks, Doctor. If you try and give an alarm, I shall have to get rough with you.
I don't mind about that, but just remember that there are children present.
Oh, yeah, Manny. You here before you, eh? What you say? We all join a little carol for the nippers, eh?
All right. What do you want to sing?
Hark the old angels sing, eh?
All right. Come on, men. Let's sing.
Hark the angels sing, glory to the newborn King.
Merry Christmas!
What is going on?
I'll explain it to you later, old chap. Lestrade!
Yes, Mr. Holmes?
Take them to Scotland Yard and prefer charges. I'll be over in a little while and give evidence.
Right you are, sir. Too bad we didn't catch Professor Moriarty, too.
Well, at least we have some of his cohorts. I'll see you later, Lestrade.
I wish I knew what was going on here. Is Moriarty mixed up in this business?
Yes, Watson. I'll tell you all about it as soon as I've straightened this thing out. Now, Whitcomb.
Yes, Holmes.
The 20-pound notes that you used as wrapping for your gifts seem to have been scattered all over the house. Do you want me to recover them, too?
No. From what you've told me of the children, I think their parents could use the money much more profitably than my relatives. In any case, I can replace it.
A very generous Christmas gift. Well, children, did you enjoy the little game we staged for you?
It was enough fun.
Yes. I nearly died laughing when they started hitting each other.
I'm glad you enjoyed it, children. And now I want you to show me the presents you received.
I got these pretty earrings.
Oh, they were a part of the game, too. A nice little girl like you doesn't want silly earrings, Elsie. Here's a beautiful doll for you.
Cool. Her eyes open and check and everything.
And what did you get, my little man?
These.
Oh, cufflinks. Good gracious, who wants cufflinks when you can have a clockwork train? You want to exchange?
My Lord love a duck, yes.
I wanted the dog.
There's one for you, Lionel. A nice woolly dog.
Oh, good.
And here's a nice... Here you are, children. Here's a nice big box of chocolates, too. You can all share them.
Oh, Lummy, what a night. I ain't had as much fun since Granny got her finger stuck in a plug-o.
I still don't understand what's going on, Holmes, but I must say this has all the earmarks of being a happy Christmas.
Yes, Mrs. Hudson.
Hi, Mr. Holmes.
How's the turkey coming along?
Oh, it'll be ready in a few minutes, Mr. Holmes.
Splendid. And while we're waiting, perhaps the children will oblige with something we haven't heard so far.
Yes, I know what you mean. A Christmas carol that really sounds convincing. How about it, children?
All right, sir. Come on, Elsie. Come on, Lionel.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright, round yon virgin mother and child, holy infant of splendor and fun, sleep in
Well, Doctor, that was really a swell story. On a Christmas Eve like this, do you ever wish you were back in Baker Street celebrating Christmas there?
At times, yes, but actually, Mr. Bartell, I'm very happy right here in my little home. There on the table is a beautiful little Christmas tree. There's a fine fire in my fireplace. My two dogs, Monty and Willie, are sleeping peacefully at my feet. And best of it all, I've got the love of every child in the neighborhood. Yes, I got a great deal this Christmas Eve. Lots to be thankful for. And what with the troubles of the world on their way to being settled, it looks as if this is the brightest Christmas that I've ever had.
Well, that's how I feel about it, too, Doctor.
I hope that all our friends listening in are just as happy this Christmas Eve as we are. And speaking not only for myself, but I know for all of us and for the Petrie family, too, we wish every one of you a happy Christmas from the bottom of our hearts. God rest ye merry, gentlemen.
Well, Dr. Watson, next Monday is New Year's Eve. What story do you plan to tell us?
One that I think you find extremely appropriate, Mr. Bartell. It takes place in a Scottish castle near Edinburgh on a New Year's Eve in 1900 and concerns a pair of lovers, an elderly baronet, and a strange iron box that proved to be more than worth its weight in gold.
Tonight's Sherlock Holmes adventure was written by Dennis Green and Anthony Boucher and was suggested by an incident in the Sir Arthur Conan Doyle story, The Adventure of the Blue Carbuncle. Music is by Dean Fossler. Mr. Rathbone appears through the courtesy of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer and Mr. Bruce through the courtesy of Universal Pictures, where they are now starring in the Sherlock Holmes series. The Petrie Wine Company of San Francisco, California, invites you to tune in again next week, same time, same station. Sherlock Holmes comes to you from our Hollywood studios. This is Harry Bartell saying good night for the Petrie family. For a solid hour of exciting mystery dramas, listen every Monday on most of these same stations at 8 o'clock to Michael Shayne, followed immediately by Sherlock Holmes. This is the Mutual Broadcasting System.